You're completely quiet. I can't hear the fan.
Okay.
I don't see a waveform coming through the stream for the fan, so we should be good.
So at any time during the podcast, if I could get about 3 seconds with nothing going on, I can completely remove any background noise from it.
Right.
So just saying, like on anybody's side, like if just on the podcast in general, if I get about 3 seconds, I can remove all background noise, like hisses or pops or whatever.
Okay.
Sound Gucci.
Gucci. There he goes.
Keith, do we want to start a recording and test a few things? Like, can test if we can mute the microphone, and do you need the microphone on to get the 3 seconds?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, because it picks up like anything that might have gone through the filter or whatever, like made it past the.
And you're just gonna throw
Past
up
defense.
a picture whenever the webcam inevitably freezes.
Yeah, whenever the webcam freezes, I'll throw a picture. By the
We got
way,
some stick art.
hello to the YouTube viewers. I tend to start these things and not say anything to the YouTube viewers for a minute, but hello. Hey, Harry Rain 05, what's up? Welcome back to the stream, buddy. Welcome.
We're not recording, are we?
No, we're not. We're live on Twitch, though.
Oh, the Twitch people get the full, or the YouTube people get the full Twitch?
Yeah, the YouTube people get the full Twitch.
Gotcha. I
That's
thought
the
YouTube
advantage
people got
right
the
there.
recording as well.
Yeah. No, I don't currently have the time to cut that. Maybe one day I will. This is earliest stream, Sixpath. Welcome to the stream, Sixpath. We're going to be playing some D&D. This may be your earliest stream for my time zone, but I'll introduce you. I mean, as we have newer and newer people coming to the channel, we'll need to reintroduce the Dungeon Boys from our. Gosh, how many years have we been doing this show? 2?
4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
4 or 5? I don't think it's 4 or 5.
Well, we took about a year to work on Curse of Strahd, so it's been a year and a half almost since we left season 1 of this campaign, and we did that one for like a year also. So
Also, we were on Winifred's Waddle for like 3 years.
yeah, good old Winifred's Waddle.
Yep.
Season 1.
So
That was jab at Keith.
question for you, chat. How Sixpath and Harry, how is audio sounding for us? Are we peaking too high? Is there anything that sounds bad
How
for
does
you?
John sound?
Oh, do I sound great?
John should be good. It's
Do I
really
sound adequate at the very least.
Angelic.
angelic.
I always sound
Your
angelic.
voice glistens.
Harry
Well,
Rain,
I always does.
My voice is sweaty.
perfect. Sixpath says it's great. Harry Rain says it's all right. So somewhere between great and all right is something I'll take. Clarity is good. Let me just tell you how valuable a Twitch viewer who uses a word like clarity when it comes to audio. You always ask people, how's the stream look? How's it sound? And everybody's like, oh, it's good, it's fine, or whatever. But Sixpath dropping the word clarity on us, letting us know, giving us an actual quality of the audio. I'm a big fan. Thank you, Sixpath.
You, my friend, get bonus points for that one.
You get a point of inspiration. Welcome to the stream, Tef.
One
This-
cookie.
This is the most
Well, that's a half a
exciting.
cookie.
This is the most exciting start to a D&D stream as far as Twitch chat's concerned that we've had in a long time. Possibly ever. I'm trying to down my 2 ounces of
Coffee.
not even coffee. We're talking about
Whiskey?
some espresso.
Oh,
Oh, mama.
Hey, War is raiding us. I'm glad we hadn't started the recording yet.
Get those hammers up. There's a raid coming.
It's a raid. Welcome to the stream, War. Thank you so much for raiding in. Our man War Never Changes has been streaming Final Fantasy XIV for, I think, 12 hours. 12 whole hours.
That's a lot of hours, Keith.
That's the way to do
That
it.
is.
That was Bryce put on his Anchorman voice. Now, Keith, that's a lot of hours. That was a long stream, War. And a couple months ago, a month ago, I did a 12-hour marathon stream, and I acted like that was a long time.
That's loud.
Well, you might as well stream it then. All right, guys, I'm going to clue you new folks into what D&D is like, and then you guys can stick around if you like it, head on if you don't, and I'll explain briefly with this portion. So, Dungeon Boys is our Dungeons and Dragons podcast. Started as a podcast when I started, or when we started streaming it over the last year or so. It's been audio is so crispy I could spread cream cheese all over it and pretend it's a bagel.
Wow.
There you go.
I'm,
You get 2.5 points for that one.
I'm so glad. Shadow, welcome to the stream, buddy. So it's our podcast that we have been streaming for a while on Monday nights, and we are just recently gotten back into season 2 of our main campaign of Dungeon Boys in the continent of Medine. It is a place that I have created, a place of my own design. And the way this will work is, in a moment, I'm going to start our podcast recording software, and we will begin recording the show. Of course, I love to respond to chat as much as I can during the show, but it's a little bit different than normal Valkyrie hunting in God of War or whatever. So, just to let you know, it's a little bit different than normal gameplay streams. Of course, there are 4 other men on the stream as well, and a dog.
And John.
Yeah,
And
I'm not
John.
a man.
Who's well, then who's the 4th man then, if John's not the 4th
I am
man?
2.
Counts double.
Okay.
It's all the beard.
We're going by mass here.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I'm about to quit my job, about to take Twitch full time and trying to provide more and more great things for you, which means hopefully this show will even improve. And one of the goals, really one of the biggest goals, is everything else in my life I've done over the past 4 years is just a way to try to get paid to play D&D with these boys. so that's the goal. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started with the podcast. Hope you guys enjoy. We will do a brief little recap, and we will begin the stream. You guys ready?
You sure?
Ready.
Oh, yeah. Always ready.
Cool. Chat, thank you for being here. As always, War, thank you for the raid. Let me quickly drop a shout out. I don't know how many people are here,
I'm here.
I'm here.
but War
I'm
Never
not.
Changes is a man worth a follow. When he plays a game, he plays the crap out of a game. He's worth your time. And also a friend, if that pushes you over the edge. So let's get it popping. The countdown will begin, and then we'll be ready to D&D together. 3, 2, 1.
One.
Cut the blue wire.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Dungeon Boys. My name is Keith, and I am your DM.
Josh playing as Arlo, your forest gnome druid.
John playing Eros, your tiefling cleric.
I'm Bryce, playing as Jacklaw, the High Elf Paladin.
I am Zenas, playing as Grim, the Osimar Barbarian.
And we are the Dungeon Boys. I think we should go ahead and nail it down, the 4 of you. Am I a Dungeon Boy, or am I something else? Are the 4 of you Dungeon Boys, or are we all the Dungeon Boys?
I feel
It is
we
a
talk about
collective.
this once every few weeks.
I feel like it's like a music group kind of deal, like Keith and the Dungeon Boys.
Oh,
Right.
okay. All right.
Or it would be Tank and the Dungeon Boys.
That sounds cool. I think I want that
Get mine
t-shirt.
up.
Your Tank DM.
That t-shirt I think would be great if it was like me on the microphone and then all of you with instruments, but instead of like instruments, they were your weapons in D&D and they were your characters. That would be an awesome t-shirt.
Instruments of destruction.
Somebody,
Pretty much.
someone who can draw, get on that. Get on
Right.
that.
I
Okay.
can't draw.
Do it anyway.
Does
Alright.
anybody else want to do a recap, or is that on me tonight?
We infiltrated. I think we got this. We infiltrated and we stopped the alarm system at a Fortress Othug,
Mm-hmm.
and Grim and Arrows went and destroyed a couple of very nice individuals.
Welcome to
who
Tank
just
Town.
happened to be thugs.
Yeah.
Handily stole some gold and disguised themselves as the 2 individuals who were bringing back a shipment of gold and finery to be brought back to the stronghold, the fortress, whatever we call it. And they raised the alarm. As this was about to happen, Bryce's character Jack, I forget. Did you actually like set something ablaze?
Before you answer
There
that,
was a market stall.
before you have to answer that, I have to acknowledge that someone just followed the Twitch channel and their name is Nerdy Drunken Monkey Goblin. Thank you for following the channel,
I like it.
Nerdy Drunken Monkey Goblin. We very much
That is a good
appreciate
name.
that.
I would run from that battle. I would not. I would not battle this.
I'd leave that
sounds
monkey
like
goblin
we need to
alone.
make a clip on Twitch.
Surrender
URL.
Yeah. It really does sound like that. But we love you, nerdy nerd monkey goblin, whatever you want to be called. Thank you so much for being here. And Bryce, please continue.
Thanks, Gob.
We love you, Nerdy.
Yeah. I burnt down a market stall that was run by the Thug organization, who is nameless at this point. I set my sword ablaze and jabbed it into their market stall. And everybody came running out to see what the commotion and the smoking and stuff like that was.
Mm-hmm.
And while everybody was running out, the dungeon boys infiltrated and slammed the door shut behind them.
Well, we're working on slamming the door shut.
Yeah, we're trying
No,
to.
Kate latched it. That was the last
Yeah.
turn that was taken.
Oh, so
Yep.
the door is latched.
Yeah, I slammed it shut with my turn. Big boy came out. Then we retconned that, oh wait, Kate hadn't taken a turn, and she locked it, and then Big Boy came out.
And then
Yes.
there's my.
But in the midst of that, our
Yeah.
friend Arlo, the gnome god of everything,
I
created
love your
a
description from earlier today.
magic fire monster that is rampaging around in here
Yes.
in an enclosed stone structure with no way out.
Yep.
And if he loses concentration on it, it is an enemy to the rest of us.
Becomes hostile to the party.
It deals damage
It does,
by walking.
and also existing,
Yes.
and also by touching things.
And
It
not
doesn't even
touching
attack.
things.
It just touches something, and it sets it ablaze.
Getting close to touching something
Right.
also will be bad.
Right.
Yes. So
All not good.
to wrap it up, there are
And then
currently
at the very last minute, we had a little bit of lag there. Yeah, at the last minute, we had a thugnificent, I guess, like a main thug, a boss thug, I guess, show up with a lit stick of dynamite in a room in a building that we assume is full of other explosives.
correct. So I'd like to go ahead and clarify a few things. The reason that you're inside this place is A, it has dynamite that Kate suggested you guys should go grab before you take your journey into the mountains. And B, it could be full of gold. And C, this thug fort is terrorizing and extorting the town of Melora's Quiver. So you guys devised a plan, you effectively executed that plan, and now inside the walls, all you have left are 3 thugs, 2 giant hyenas, and 1 big, almost like piratey looking guy, like a big old thug man. And he just walked out of the garage where you are trying to get into with a lit stick of dynamite, holding it in his hands, and he's about to take his turn. And so as a fire elemental is rampaging throughout this fort, the 4 party members and their companion Kate, the rangeress, are inside. The gates are closed, and things are about to go down. And we promise Monkey Goblin to not take your booze. Monkey Goblin says they're a good Monkey Goblin. Just don't touch their booze.
No.
Yo,
No.
Isn't it our turn again since we did a sneak attack?
no, it is
No?
not.
Okay.
That time has already passed.
Oh.
This
okay.
is real time.
We are now in real time. So, noticing the giant fire elemental that stands before everyone, as well as the foreign entities inside of this place, causing havoc, the thug leader, Grunk, as you have heard his name might be, rears back and throws the stick of dynamite towards the fire elemental for reasons you may discern or you may not. And now the thing about dynamite is that unlike, say, a dagger or a crossbow bolt, if you miss with dynamite, something still gets hit. So we're going to have to figure out how this is going to work. Also, I have neglected to properly describe the dynamite we're talking about here. This dynamite is like Acme dynamite. This is not a thin paper towel tube of dynamite. We're talking about not quite a beer keg. I'm trying to get something that would be about the right size. Imagine if you took like 4 coffee mugs and put them all side by side into like 4 of them, that width of dynamite, about a foot and a half long. It's a big thing, and he's gonna
Big stick of dynamite.
chunk this stick of dynamite towards the hot boy there, and he chunks it way high, and we're gonna roll to see exactly what this fella does. And one thing that's part of this guy's traits is that he too can do the reckless. He can attack recklessly. So at the start of his turn, he can gain advantage on all melee weapon attacks or rolls during that turn, but attack rolls against him have advantage until the start of his next turn. Your characters don't know that. So we're going to roll to try to hit the fire elemental in the face with a stick of dynamite. Mr. Arlo, I assume you will have that stat block handy.
I got you. However, I mean, he is immune to all fire damage.
Right. Dynamite produces more force damage than fire damage is how I'm playing this. And also, he doesn't know what it's going to do, but he knows that of all the things he has in his repertoire, dynamite is the closest thing to being effective against a giant fire creature.
Gotcha.
And I hate to start out a episode like this, but he did immediately roll a natural 20.
Ooh.
So this guy with rippling muscles, like a cut off leather tank top, braided beard, walks out into the garage door opening, rears back a stick of lit dynamite and throws it, hitting the fire elemental directly in his head.
That 20, like I can imagine he had like a good football spiral on this
Oh
thing
man, it
going.
looked good. It was a perfect spiral. There were people whistling from outside of the fortress as it flew through the air.
On stilts.
Whenever it hits, there are two thugs wearing vertically striped black and white shirts with their hands up in the air, signifying that the kick was good. I'm gonna roll damage for this dynamite.
Do it.
Which I need to go find. I need to actually type in what this does.
Let's call it 50 D10s.
No, not that much. I know what it is. I just have to find the reference. Or my own reference.
1d6. How about that? Wow.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. All right.
That's how the Acme Dynamite work. Lots of smoke, lots of noise, but not a whole lot of damage, right?
Yeah, well, it only looks like Acme Dynamite.
Okay.
This thing has a radius of 40 feet. So if you're within 40 feet, how tall is a fire elemental, Josh?
10 feet.
10 feet tall. So I'm going to need, at this point, honestly, Arlo and Jack and Kate are all going to need to roll, and Thug number 3 are all going to need to roll dexterity saving throws.
Thug number 3 is also on fire. So.
Yeah, he might be about to have a bad day.
Yeah.
Wait, I thought I was like right beside Arlo since you went up.
Do you want to get blown up by dynamite, John?
You're ahead of him.
Feel better.
Never mind.
We cut right there.
Yeah.
Right there. So you said a dexterity saving throw.
Yep, Thug number 3 is on fire. He's trying to pat himself out. He's completely oblivious right now. I can't see what you rolled.
That's a 16, boy.
A 16. That will you will effectively dodge.
Woo.
You'll take half this damage though.
Yeah.
Jack. Oh boy.
Do I dodge?
we're about to see. You're far enough away though. You're far enough away. How about Arlo? You're gonna take a quarter of the damage. Jack, you're gonna take half. Kate's about to roll. Oh boy. Wait, wasn't there a thing where people get advantage? Blessing, add D4 to checks.
Yeah.
Nice.
You just saved Kate's life.
Nice.
Perfect. I remember you had a buff that added.
Was it you?
No, that was you. You
I
did it.
blessed.
I think you did. Yes.
You did it.
So you added a
Good old
buff that
Paladin.
saved Kate's life. She's going to take half damage, and Arlo's going to take a quarter. So it's time to roll up this damage. Grim, you're watching all this from a distance. The fire or the explosion, big forceful explosion, explodes across the sky. Also, because the elemental is resistant to fire damage, we're going to say it also takes half damage.
Sweet.
It's only going to take the force damage. So, I'm going to try to count all this up. That's a bad one. 8, 13, 14, 20, 22, 27, 32.
You sure I saved Kate?
We're about to see 40,
Oof.
41, 45, 49, and for the final one, 57. So 57 damage. Half of that we're going to call 25, 28. No, yeah, 28. Call it 28. 28 damage.
I
Woo.
take full damage, right?
You took half.
No, you're only
I
taking
didn't- I
half.
didn't dodge.
You're only taking half
Wow.
because you're far enough away.
Okay.
I'm taking half, quarter, all of it.
You're taking a quarter of it, so
14, 15.
yeah, call it 14. Or no, 13. No, 14. 14's half of
14.
28. Sorry.
Yeah.
And Hot Boy is going to take 28 damage.
Yeah, he shrugs.
Why does he only take half?
He's a fire elemental. I'm going to give him resistance to dynamite.
Alright.
Oh man. I'm killing him. He's T number 3, thug number 3 takes the explosion. He's trying to pat himself down. The explosion forces his face into the fiery ground as he slides towards that tent over there. And the sliding, finally, he slams into this tent and snaps his neck on the corner of it. He is
Ouch.
dead.
That's by a tent. It wasn't the explosion at all.
Yeah.
He is dead. Now, one final thing. Jack, you were unable to complete the saving throw. You are going to be thrown 20 feet backwards.
I better not hit that tent.
You
They
are
proving deadly.
Right?
tossed over the tent, landing behind it. I'm going to roll one more
A nice
D10's
soft
worth
rock.
of damage for this impact. But it was
Alright.
only a 1. You gracefully slide into the ground, slamming onto it as bad things occurred to you. Kate takes the explosion like a champ. She turns around as the explosion happens, her brown hair, her braid coming undone in the force, her hair blowing forward as she faces the wall, and she slides a little bit but keeps her footing. And you can tell that she's hurt by this, but she still stands strong. Arlo, I assume you take some damage. We need to talk about
I have a bit.
concentration.
You got to make a Constitution
So-
saving
so
throw to
I'm-
concentrate on a spell.
Right.
That's right, a
Hmm.
Constitution saving throw.
Dang it, Josh. What? I just needed one turn to give you advantage, and you couldn't concentrate long enough for that.
Boys, it's a 6.
Oh boy.
I don't quite think that's gonna do it. No, let me just check. I don't think it is.
I gotta
'cause
remember how
it's
concentration
gotta-
works.
Right. Well, while you're remembering that, let me just read off the Conjure Elemental real quick. If your concentration is broken, the elemental doesn't disappear. Instead, you lose control of the
Oh,
elemental.
no.
It becomes hostile towards you and your companions, and it might attack. It doesn't say it will, it says it might. An uncontrolled elemental can't be dismissed by you, and it disappears 1 hour after you summoned it. Guess what, boys? We just brought it out. The DM has the elemental statistics. Is that true?
I'll get
Is
it.
that really true?
I also have a dog in the backyard. He's very upset about the fire elemental.
I don't
All
know, right? I
fire-
think he might be more upset than me. Just for your reference, because if we have to fight this fella, he is now at 74 health instead of 102.
Okay, you got it.
So, when making a Constitution saving throw to maintain your concentration, the DC equals 10 or half the damage you take, whichever number is higher.
So you weren't gonna save. More than likely.
Well, half the damage I take is like 7.
Oh, never mind. Sorry, my
No,
bad.
whichever is higher, though.
Yeah, whichever's higher is 10.
So
You also
still-
got
you
a
don't
6,
save either
so
way.
either way you.
Yeah, it wouldn't. It was not good.
We have lost
good, no.
control of the fire elemental.
We've lost containment.
Wait, why'd you only take 7 damage? You should have taken 14.
No, I took 14. This is what he's saying, like half of the damage.
Oh,
you
half
took,
damage.
so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not good, boys. It's not
All
good.
right. So the fire elemental shifts to my control. That Pokemon is now in my Pokeball.
You ever have like really good intentions with something, but it backfires on you?
Yeah,
not to
Yeah.
this degree.
it happens
No.
frequently. That
You used a temperature reference.
I did. You caught it. Good job.
That was good. That was good, Zenas. That was impressive. We're podcasters.
Does
We're
that count as
witty.
inspiration?
We're witty, quick podcasters and streamers. All right, we're gonna move on to Thug number 4's turn. Thug number 4.
You should just quit and just walk away.
He really
At this
should,
point.
but he's trapped. So he's gonna come over here to Kate, and he is gonna try to murder her on his way to try to open that door. So he is gonna whip out his stat block. He's gonna whip out his mace that he's wielding, and he's gonna
Oh,
crit fit. Yep.
Before we get too far, so I don't forget, is Jack prone?
Jack is currently prone. Yes,
Okay.
currently prone.
Half movement to get up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Nice.
put a red. Bryce, take that red ring off of him whenever he gets up.
Okay. Yeah, teaching moment for all the viewers out there. If you're ever knocked down in D&D in combat, it is half of your movement speed for that turn to stand back up.
Mm-hmm. The more you know. All right, so he swings his mace one time, but Kate is able to take her bow out and Hawkeye style swing her bow and knock the mace away. He's gonna roll again to try to hit, but yet again, his mace cannot find purchase upon her body, for she is too swift afoot, and she dodges the second mace blow. And that will be the end of his turn. Tug numero dos. Is he dead?
Yeah. You've only got 1 and 4 now.
Okay, yeah. So no, sorry, 1,
One's on
not
fire.
2. Thug number 1. Thug number 1 is going to get out of the fire.
No, he is on fire.
He is currently on fire. What did he have to roll to put himself out?
Yeah, well.
That's how it normally works.
You know what? For humor's sake, that's what he does. He's gonna take an action and stop, drop, and roll to try to put himself out. Unless he does something horrible. He rolls a nat 20. He successfully puts himself out, and he moves over to his boss, the big boy, to offer protection. But we're gonna say how much damage to somebody who's on fire.
He does take
1d10. So I'm gonna roll that damage.
Yeah, he does take 1d10 fire damage at the start of his turn.
That's right. So he takes 6 damage while he's on fire, but he survives that and moves over to the big boy and protects him. He said when he gets over there, he says, "I got you, boss."
He says crispily.
Yeah. Giant hyena number 1 comes a rolling through, trying to dodge the fire, and moves its way closer to you for attacking and whatnot.
And whatnot.
And Arlo,
He didn't dodge the fire.
we are now back at your turn. Your turn, Arlo.
Oh, it's my turn.
Yep.
Yeah.
Woo! Okay.
You are that Arlo.
At this point, I'm picturing like all of you fighting on the ground while Arlo creates another elemental titan, and the two of them have a grudge match during the fight.
Oh wow. That would be pretty epic, but I don't know if Hot Boy is going to be hostile to us yet. I just
Right.
know that I have just now lost control.
Correct.
Like the reins have dropped. So I am going to head in the direction of Kate to try to secure the gate
Okay.
with Kate.
Gotcha.
It's latched.
Oh, is it latched?
It's
Yes.
currently
I thought
locked.
we
Yeah.
were okay. All right. Okay, all right. So we're good on that one then. So in that case, okay. I see that Jack has been blown over a tent. I'm going to make my way in that direction.
Okay. Cool. Drag
Not
yourself.
sure how far that is on the map.
How many feet do you have?
I got 2 feet.
How
I am
many?
a gnome.
How much
but,
difference
25
distance?
feet
I can move 25 feet of movement.
Heck, let's call it. You can make it. You can make it over there.
I can do it. Yes.
Well, I guess on the end there, if people are within 5 feet of me, they get an extra 10 feet of movement speed. So
Perfect.
when he gets to the end, he gets a second win.
Yeah.
it's like a little whoop right there at the end. Okay. Can I take an action to see if I can offer Jack a hand to get him back on his feet?
Absolutely.
Cool. We grasp hands. I pull on you, and probably not a whole lot
Pulls
happens.
you
but
down.
I think it's more symbolic than anything.
You pull Jack up to his feet. Hopefully.
Hey, there we go. Jack, did you see the explosion back there?
Yes, I was thrown quite far by it.
Oh, right. I can imagine like we're both a little singed at this point. But, look, that big fella over there, he's the one that threw it, right? The exploding thing.
Yes.
Is that what we're looking for?
I suppose so. Kate did say something about clearing something in the mountains, or I don't know. My head's still ringing a bit, but we need to get it away from him, whether we get it for ourselves or not.
Well, he already used it.
I'm sure he wouldn't use all he has on a throw at that distance. I'm sure he's got more somewhere.
What you mean there's more of that stuff?
I couldn't say, but it's
Oh, shoot.
it stands to reason, I feel.
Oh, shoot. All right. So let me see what I got here. Man, this has taken so many different turns from how I was expecting here.
That's part of my job.
Right? So I think what I'm going to do... not that one. Okay. I'm just going to pat Jack on the, I guess his side or whatever. I'm gonna use the cantrip resistance.
Nice.
So you touch a willing creature once before the spell ends. Target can roll a d4, add the number rolled to one saving throw of its choice. it can roll a die before or after saving the throw is spelled in. So there you go. Well, let's get to it then. And that's my turn there.
All right. Resistance has been cast. Moving along, it is Grimm's turn.
All right, so Grimm was primarily focused southeastward.
Okay.
So he was kind of debating whether or not he was going to go to number 4 or to the hyena down there.
Uh-huh.
But I imagine that as soon as like that explosion happened, he kind of just like dropped his hands a little bit and like turned in confusion, and then that's when he sees Big Boy step out.
Yeah.
That's when he sees that he has stepped out. So now he's got a new target, and he's gonna work his way over there.
Okay.
Can he make it to them in one turn, or is that
Yeah, man. Let's say you make it over there.
okay? I'm going to throw 2 punches at Mr. Big Boy.
Throw him, boss.
From 20.
Your
I
attack
will-
rolls have advantage against the start of this guy's next turn.
Okay, that's good information.
Also,
Thank you.
add a D4 to the rules, right?
Okay.
It would seem
25
No.
with the first one,
that will definitely hit.
and 22 for the second one.
Both of those will hit.
Oh. For 17 damage for the first one,
Okay.
and
No, not me.
22
Really?
damage for the second one.
You said 17 for number 1,
Yes.
and then 22 for the other one?
Yes.
All right. What are you're punching him, you said?
Yeah, I'm just gonna, cause like that's where Grimm's head at is. This dude is big and beefy looking, but he's also got some very serious firepower. Cause I imagine that as Grimm was turning, that's when he saw Jack flying over the tent and just slam into the ground. So he was just kind of like, and he was like, okay. So he's kind of processing all that stuff. So he's like, all right, we got to put this guy down. So he's running up to him and just kind of going for the right hook to the chin and then a left like jab to the gut. real
Gotcha.
quick.
You punch him twice.
Excellent.
And he takes those hits not so well. Like, you can feel some bones crunching beneath your fists as you punch him. Like, he's not a superhero by any stretch of the imagination. He's just a big boy. And you punch him twice and he, how do you get in here?
I'm not going to answer him. I'm just going to go for bonus action punch to the face again.
Okay.
Because why not? That is another 25.
That will, of course, hit him.
Oh, well, okay. That one. I was rolling both of my dice, and one of them just fell out and hit a 1, so I was like, all right, that's fine. So another 17 damage to him.
Another 17 damage. This boy's not looking great. He takes another. You punch him once in the gut, once in the face, another time across the jaw. At this point, he spits out the tooth. What do you want from us?
Grimm is not a man of one-liners.
Interesting.
So he just
That's a new development.
That was not the right word. I don't know why I said interesting. I apologize.
Grimm is just going to succinctly say, "Your head for the trouble you have caused."
Oh, it feels like you're causing us a lot of trouble. And will you do anything else with the rest of your turn?
No, Grimm's just gonna kind of smile at him, like in a creepy, happy way. Like he's like, "Yeah, that's exactly what I do."
Okay.
And then I,
The salesman
stay here.
smile.
You a what, Grim?
I'm gonna stay here. I have to go to the bathroom, but I imagine that when his turn comes around, I'm gonna get punched. So
Okay.
I'm gonna stay.
Eros, you have a couple turns between you if you need to go pee or anything.
I gotta do that.
All right, run quickly. Eros, it is your turn, young man.
Can I make a persuasion check on Big Boy?
He just got punched in the face.
To do what?
To persuade him that we won't kill him if he gives us the TNT.
You can say that to him, and I'll give you a free opportunity to do that. But it's going to be he's not even really looking at you, Arrows. He's not even noticed you.
He's busy getting punched in the face by Grim.
Oh, I thought that was done.
Huh? It is done,
Ah.
but kind of hard to say that to somebody while they're being punched.
Yeah,
in the
like
face. This all happens at the same time. It's
Oh,
not.
yeah.
It's not like it's not actually turn based. Everything that goes on and around it
Mhm.
all happens in 6 seconds.
yeah.
It all happens at the same time.
So right now, it would be hard for you to have that have a conversation with him. Like if Grim wanted to grab him and tell him, like, put your, stop fighting us and we'll leave you alone or whatever, that'd be one thing. But you're kind of like you're calling between 3 dudes. They're in a skirmish, and you're calling across the courtyard to be like, "Hey, we're not gonna kill you if you." So you can definitely try it. If you want, and I'll give it to you as a free opportunity, but you'll have disadvantage with the roll.
Okay.
Is that roll of persuasion?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to persuade him.
So with disadvantage. So you roll twice, take the lowest one.
So, could he hear me if I do thaumaturgy?
What does that do?
Yeah.
But
It
I
just
can
creates a sound. So.
I can make my voice 3 times louder.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I'll take you back to a regular roll then. If you're gonna use a big booming voice. Now, mind you, when it comes to persuasion, the media. What's up, all gamings? Welcome to the stream, buddy. We're playing some D&D. The media portrays persuasion as like, I want to persuade this guy that I'm actually a fish that can talk and I have $1 million. Like, you can't do that. And you won't be able to, with one roll, stop all of this combat from happening. But you can definitely at least get inside this guy's head. So, go ahead and roll. Tell me what you say through your thaumaturgy, and then we'll roll a persuasion contest.
Whoops.
Don't roll it yet.
Okay. So, we all want to... Wait, hold up. Alright, big boy. Sorry. Alright, big boy. We all want to get out of this alive, at least. So, if you can just give us the TNT, we will stop trying to harm you and leave.
Okay. You hear a muffled voice from the sound of him speaking through a fist that's in his mouth. What's that? What's this boy talking to me about? Now, roll a persuasion roll.
Oh, that's a 4. That's not doing it.
He does not believe you.
It's the fist in the mouth.
Yeah. Nothing about his body language makes it seem as though he is anything more than confused at the loud voice that's booming through the courtyard at him right now.
Oh no. Okay. So, and then...
Was that an action for him? Or a free action?
Well, we did a whole persuasion thing. I might have to call... And he used thaumaturgy. What's thaumaturgy?
Yeah. Thaumaturgy is 1 action.
Okay, so that was an action.
That would be an action. And then I shall get away from Hot Boy, so like a little bit closer to Arlo and Jack.
All right. How about that?
Alright, that's good.
I mean, you can move wherever you want as long as you don't go past Jack.
Is that where you want it?
You want to hide behind Big Bad Arlo?
Yeah. All like
Uh,
7 inches of me.
You know what, actually, I'm gonna go a little bit right beside, closer to Grim.
Okay. So you move up there towards Grim then, to back Grim up. You and Grim have been on team so far anyway, so...
I want to make sure that the big boy sees my face and knows my face.
Okay.
Always a bad idea.
Oh, it's gonna be a bad idea. I know it.
I like how John, being the 13-year-old boy of the adventuring party, is like, he will know my face. He will know fear when he's already getting punched to death. I love it.
It's
John.
more like a smile that I want to see him get beat up now.
Okay.
Sadistic.
It's
but
It's
all right.
like, I want to watch this.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
This is a very much
And
an
then-
"Are we the baddies" moment.
And that will be my turn.
All right, Eros. It is
Very
Thug not number two's turn because he died somehow.
He
Don't
died
remember.
in the first round. Grim punched him through the esophagus and
Okay.
out the butthole.
Gotcha. All right,
These things do happen.
Jack, you are now
Yeah.
standing. It's your turn.
Oh, sweet. Let me see. What are these? Are these wolves even looked around? Do they know we're here?
Oh, they absolutely know you're here, and they're growling and trying to kill you.
All right, I'm gonna head towards Wolf 2, I guess.
Okay, you arrive. You sprint over
Alright.
to a giant hyena standing in front of you. It's almost as tall as you are.
This divine smite thing doesn't seem to use a bonus action or an action.
It goes with your
Yeah.
attack.
Yeah,
Yeah, you just sacrifice a spell, right?
Yep.
All right.
You can.
So
So
it's-
technically. Oh, never mind.
So it's 1 times or 1 plus spell level times D8 radiant damage. Okay. So I guess I'll sacrifice a level 1 spell. So that's 1 plus 1 is 2. And then I'm going to use my bonus action to cast Booming Blade on my lance.
Dang.
And then I'm going to smack that dude with me sword.
All right, your sword or your lance?
Well, it looks like a sword, but this lance we're talking about now is like a spear lance, like a short sword on
Hold
a
on.
stick.
Yeah.
The lance of
We're gonna call
Hades.
it that.
How are you? How are you casting Booming Blade as a bonus action?
Booming Blade is a bonus action, is it not?
Is it?
No, it is 1 action.
Uh-oh.
Poopy.
Mm.
Okay.
Zenas
Well, I
has
will-
switched teams. He's on my team now.
Undo that. Okay.
You can't side with God.
I unbooming blade. Okay, then just sacrifice the spell slot. And that's a 21 to hit.
That will definitely hit a hyena.
Oh, I'm sorry, 23 to hit.
That will still hit the hyena.
Cool. Then that is. Why do you have all of my dice and all of your dice?
I don't know. They're just sitting there.
That don't make no sense.
I
Bro.
didn't do it.
All right, so that's 1d12 for the lance. That's 1.
Oh.
Hey.
Oh.
Plus 4 is 5. Plus 2d8 is 5. Plus 6 is 11. Plus 7 is 18 damage
Nice.
on the first hit.
Nice.
And then extra attack.
Okay. So your
That's
first
18.
attack, you jam your lance directly into its chest, passing between some ribs and slicing an organ or two.
That's a 12, no. 12, 13 to hit.
That'll hit.
Sweet.
You know what I'll do?
That's just the d12.
To explain who's your enemy and who's not, I'm going to give them red outlines because I'm a good
Who's gonna do
DM.
that?
Yeah, I'm liking Owlbear Rodeo. This
Ow.
is-
Owlbear's
Hot Boy
crushing
got a
it.
red outline.
What?
That's another
Yeah.
9 damage. I said, oh, Hot Boy got a red line.
He sure did. All right, you jab him again, this time slicing on the side of his shoulder whenever you go back in. He's able to dodge away from it. This hyena is still alive, but looking a little bit worse for the wear. It snaps and snarls its bloody teeth at you.
I deserve it, I'm sure. One moment, please. You said these walls are 20 feet tall or 40 feet tall?
20.
20.
still a formidable wall.
Okay. So a jump is 3 plus your, or a high jump is 3 plus your strength modifier. Correct?
Yep.
So
Dang, that's a
I have
lot
a
of
thing
jump.
where I can, yeah, that's my strength modifier is +4.
Good lord, you
So
got a
3 plus
7-foot
4.
vertical leap, or are you going?
Yeah. But I can use my channel divinity as a bonus action. The peerless athlete channel divinity for the next 10 minutes. I have blah blah blah. Long and high jumps increased by 10 feet,
Dang.
so I could jump 17 feet straight up. Would that be enough to grab me the top of the wall?
With jumping, you can lift your hands up and extend the height of the jump by half of your height.
Yeah. You can get to the wall. Yes.
Wow.
Because I
Do I
get
have
to the
enough
side, and that's awesome.
NBA,
A
here we
freaking
go.
Hulk
Do I have
jump.
enough movement speed to reach the wall?
Yes, I don't care. Yes. That's awesome.
Okay. Then, as my bonus action, I use peerless athlete.
Unless you
and
botch it, of
I
course.
now have plus 10 feet to jump. What do you
Okay.
mean botch it?
Okay, actually, now that I zoom out, you are
I guess I
quite
got to roll to grab the wall.
you are quite a distance from the wall. I'm gonna call it
Okay.
this. If you
But he's a
wanna
fearless
if you wanna jump and grab that wall, roll an athletics check for me. I'll go ahead and tell you the DC. The DC is going to be a 14. This is a pretty
I have
difficult
advantage
maneuver.
on it.
Yeah. It's a fairly
Let's
difficult
see.
maneuver.
I love that that was like your golf announcer voice.
My first roll was a 17, so that's plus 5 is 22.
There you go. Okay. I didn't want to make it too hard because you did
Yeah.
use the skill that makes you able to jump, so.
18. All
But
right, cool.
as you leave the hyena's space, he's going to take a bite at you. The hyena rolls to bite. Will a natural 1 hit?
It will not.
So whenever you jump, the way that you make it so easily and make the extra distance is as you jump, the hyena lifts its head up to try to bite you, but instead of grabbing onto you with its teeth, you put your head on its snout and leap off of its rising head, giving you the extra couple of feet to jump and grab onto this rudimentarily made wall. You grab onto it with your hands, and because it was so long of a jump, until your next turn, you will hang there until you can pull yourself up.
Nice.
Jack, always the acrobat, bro. Always the acrobat. Love it. Okay.
I love the like that was really good.
Yes.
I feel kind of odd about it. I probably should have looked into it more. I don't know if is a high jump like an action? Do I have to take an action to?
No, you just
Psych
have to
myself
move
up for a
10 feet
jump?
forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just
But
uses
it,
your movement.
it uses your movement speed as well, so that's how they cover for it. So like you can
Gotcha.
only jump a distance equal to your strength score anyway.
So, because it was such a cool idea, instead of giving you a point of inspiration, I just made it possible,
That'll work.
for you to do it from there. I just think it's super cool that you can jump like that. Very, very cool. All right, so hyena number 2, it is going to do its best to jump its way up that wall and try to claw at you. I'm going to give it a chance to claw into the wall and kind of do one of those, like, have you ever seen those videos on Facebook or Instagram where they train this pit bull to like run vertically up a wall for 15 feet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, luckily we've all seen it, so you guys see where I'm going with this. He's got disadvantage on this. He's going to have to do a strength check and then an attack to try to bite you. So you have 2 chances to escape this. He's going to have disadvantage on the athletics roll, and then he'll be able to try to bite you if he gets up there. He is not gonna be able to jump up there. He tries his best to claw into the wall and get up to you, and he snaps, but you're able to pull your foot out of the way just in time, and the hyena comes sliding back down the wall, landing on its feet, more blood shooting out of the wound that you left in its chest. And I'm sure you all wish that I could have stayed on that hyena for as long as possible, but I do have to take control of my new fire elemental now.
No, go back to the hyena. We really like the hyena, right?
Arlo,
Yeah.
Arlo, almost affronted by the fact that you were controlling him,
Right.
the fire elemental is coming for you, buddy.
Oh boy.
I really only get channel divinity once a day.
Leaving fire in his wake. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. And he's going to run over there, try to step on you first.
Okay.
So moving through space as narrow as 1 inch.
Right.
A creature that touches the elemental or hits it with a melee attack within 5 feet of it. In addition, the elemental can enter a hostile creature's space and stop there. That's what it has done. The first time it enters a creature's space on a turn, that creature takes takes 1d10 fire damage and catches fire. Arlo, bad news. You're on fire, buddy.
I don't want to be on fire.
That is bad. I'm very sorry that that's the case. But sometimes that's the way the DM cookie crumbles.
Gotcha.
You will take 5 Bernie damage.
Ooh.
In
all things considered, that's not bad.
No, it's not. You're just on fire. But it's about to do something else. It's going to try to smack you, Arlo. It raises a hand and brings it down on you. I'm going to roll a hit. Will a 23 hit?
Barely. Yes.
Okay. You're going to take 3, 4... You're going to take 7 fire damage.
Okay, no, I can use it twice.
But it's going to attack you again because it has multi-attack.
Right.
Yep.
Give me some more.
This time it rolls a natural 20, which I have rolled 3 of this game. I am so sorry. So that's 2, 7, that's 10 damage.
I can almost imagine Arlo is just so disappointed. Just like, I brought you into this world. Now I'm going to have to take you back out of this world. That grieving thing. You know, the whole Obi-Wan Kenobi, like when Anakin goes over to the dark side, like, you were the chosen one. Yeah, very upset.
Exactly that. Everyone who's watching at home, the dungeon boys on the right side have frozen. I'm now going to a static image of the dungeon boys on the right. I do apologize, but we just can't keep their camera running.
Static image.
Well, yeah, a better looking static image. How about that?
What are you trying to say, Keith?
I just feel bad that you guys are frozen.
Is it hand drawn? I want a doggone oil painting.
I would love to have it. If you're watching and you're very artistic, now's the time.
Right.
Okay, so you take all that damage. Fire elemental has done all that, and it is now Kate's turn. Kate calls to you. Arlo, are you all right?
Yeah, little crispy, but I can handle it. I'll be all right.
I'll come help as soon as I kill this cretin.
Sounds fair.
As she says that, the guy in front of her who's trying to kill her goes, "What?"
Arlo's like engulfed in flame having a conversation.
Yeah.
So
she whips out her short sword and goes to town hacking and slacking. Except she's gonna miss the... Oh wait, actually, that's not true. She is not gonna miss because she got them skills. So she's going to roll 1d6 plus 3. She's gonna roll 6 damage on this young man, and then she's going to try to stab at him again. This time she will also hit, rolling another 6 damage. That thug is not yet dead, but he does get slashed once in the arm and once across the chest. Blood leaks out of his body. And she has a feature that I didn't use last time. Anyway, the thug says, "Oh, you'll have to do better than that to kill me." I intend to. And now it is Grunk's turn. Grunk is going to turn to Grim, and I think he's going to attack recklessly again. There's not a whole lot he can do. There's a fire elemental in here. I think he may be taking into account that this might be his Custer's last stand. He's going to attack recklessly, giving him advantage on both of his attacks here, and disadvantage on what he takes back. So another natural 20, Zenas.
That will hit.
He's got a great axe on his back that he pulls off and swings at you, by the way.
Okay.
After he tosses that dynamite, he pulls his great axe off and swipes down at you one time, colliding with your body. You're going to take 12 damage. Oh, nope, that's not true. You're going to take 24 damage from that hit.
Okay.
Okay.
That's Grim's attitude. Like he's a barbarian, so he's got a massive pool of health, and that attack, that damage was halved. So.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Nice.
Did you raged?
Yeah, I've raged at the beginning.
Okay, yeah. I just
like a week ago.
Right, yeah, exactly.
That's how he killed number 2.
Yeah, I couldn't remember the all of our status effects. All right, so he's going to try to swing again. It's like, you're a big boy, aren't you?
Yeah.
Will a Mia, you've got to calm down. What's your problem breathing so heavy? Will a 14 hit?
No.
I didn't think so. So the second one, he tries to bring down his great axe, but you put both of your arms up in an X formation and grab the handle as it comes down, stopping the blade before it collides with your forehead.
Excellent. Very cinematic.
Mia, why are you breathing so heavy? Goodness. Stop. Cool it. Cool yourself.
She's getting into this game.
Yeah, she's like, what's going on? I can't wait to see what happens with that fire boy. Alright, it is now Thug number 4's turn. Thug number 4 is going to try to chop at Kate again. He is going to roll that time, and he is going to hit with his mace. He will deal to her a d6 of damage. Luckily, it was only 3 damage. She tries to deflect the mace, but is partially able to and partially unable to. He brings the mace up to swing again. This time, he will collide again with his mace, but will she deflect some of the damage? This time, no damage is reflected. She takes the full force of the mace. She takes a smack from the mace directly in her belly. She bends down. Ow! But she is still bleeding and battered, yet standing firm. And the guy says, "What'd I tell you?" Then it is time for Thug number 1's turn. Thug number 1 is going to turn to Grim and try to harm him. He rolls a 10 to hit, which is going to be a miss, and then a unnatural 20 to hit.
That will hit.
He will roll an unnatural 20 for 7 damage. I assume you take that like a beast.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just thinking that I'm like right beside Grim, and there's like 14 of me, not 14, 4 of me, just like watching him get sort of
I forgot.
Like, wow.
Mirror copies.
Yeah, Arrows copied himself into 4 different mirror selves, so there's 4 Arrows standing there right beside Grim. That's very
like, wow.
funny. Very funny. Okay. It was very funny that this combat happened and everybody was like, hit the red button that does all of our powers. Okay, anyway, it is Hyena number 1's turn. It also is going to sprint in here and try to get a piece of that juicy grim booty. That juicy booty.
Remember, it's just a preview.
It's just a preview of that booty. A giant hyena will try to bite you. It rolls a 17.
No.
That will not hit. So the hyena comes in with its mouth agape, ready to bite you, and you open-handed slap it right in the face and push its teeth off course. This is what a barbarian was made for.
Mm-hmm.
Open hand slapping.
It's Arlo's turn now.
All right. For the first 5 seconds of my turn, I just want to be screaming in agony. So.
Oh, you actually, sorry. You're gonna have to take some fire damage anyway, so that's a good thing you're screaming in agony.
Okay.
It's
a D10, isn't it?
Yeah, 1d10 at the start of each of your turns. You're gonna take 3 more damage at the start of your turn, young man.
Ooh, okay. All right. So, screaming in agony, I want to take just a brief moment to cast Watery Sphere on top of my head.
Nice. Watery Sphere.
Well, it's an action. I can also take an action to try to stop, drop, and roll, but I got a feeling this guy's going to be camped out on top of myself.
Yeah.
Does he have to roll for it?
Zing. All right, so it's a long description, but essentially it's a watery sphere with a 10-foot radius, so that is a 20-foot diameter. And I can cast that within 90 feet of myself. I'm casting it on myself, and it lasts for 1 minute.
Okay.
And it is a concentration-based spell, so Jack loses that resistance that I cast earlier. So
all right,
that'll be all right. I'm on fire. You can deal with it for a second. So
okay. So you cast Watery Sphere on your head, you say?
I do, because this fella is right on top of my person. So
Gotcha. How big is the sphere? You said
it is 20 feet in diameter, 12-foot radius.
Okay.
A calculation would say that's about 31,000 gallons of water.
Okay. Gotcha.
And he takes 1 cold damage for every 1 gallon of water that it splashed on him.
All right, that's a lot of water damage. Magical water. He is standing now inside the water, but one thing about this is that I don't know what the math is. How much heat?
That was the math.
That was the math. He takes 1 damage for every gallon of water, so 31,000 damage.
No, yeah, I was just more about to make a joke about how hot would that water get if you put magical fire inside of it.
It'll get warm, I'd imagine, but at the same time, I am on fire. I can deal with the warm water. I'll be okay.
Exactly. So a magical sphere of water appears around Arlo's head as the fire elemental is trapped inside the water bubble. And yeah, for every 5 feet the elemental moves in water, or for every gallon of water splashed on it, it takes 1 cold damage. That's plenty of gallons of water volume wise, and so while the fire elemental is large, he is not 22 feet in diameter large, and he is unable to survive the water sphere, and he steams up as now an almost boiling sphere of water stands on Arlo's head. He is not on fire any longer, and the fire elemental has been consumed.
Awesome.
So
With
Arlo's
1 fell swoop.
3 feet tall, and he has a 20-foot sphere of water replacing his head right now.
No,
Yeah.
it's just right on top of of me. So that would be
Okay.
a 10-foot radius from me.
Gotcha.
So essentially, I guess it looks like a giant dewdrop right now.
Yeah,
So,
a big dome.
big dome of water, and I'd imagine the water's pretty hot, but still, And you can't really see it because I am submerged inside this giant bubble of water. But there's a little tear that comes to Arlo's eye.
Had to kill my boy.
I brought you into this world, and you were gone so soon.
Yep.
And let's see. I'm gonna take my movement speed to. I'm gonna head in the general direction of where Kate is at. So I'm gonna exit the side of the bubble.
All right, you exit the bubble. We're gonna call that pretty difficult terrain. You're not gonna run through that as fast as anything else, so you get around here.
Yeah, I figure like that was enough to get me outside, maybe a couple steps, but
yeah.
Okay.
And very impressive. Great way to dispatch that fire elemental that got out of control.
There were other methods, but I didn't want to let it burn down to nothing. So
Keith,
me being on underneath
a
it.
question about an item from the shopping excursion.
Please.
The magical journal of journaling.
Uh-huh.
Does it only count for creatures that I kill, or the party kills that are added to the journal?
For the sake of making it more video gamey, we'll call it the party kills.
Okay.
And you know what?
We're going to call it...
we can call it the party kills I'm present for, because at least then I'm like experiencing it.
Excuse me. What I was just about to say was we'll call it anything that you were involved in taking out.
That'll work.
You know, it occurs to me now, after it's already occurred several 6-second turns ago, but I had a 6-second redo on those redo boots that I got.
Oh, yeah.
You did. You certainly did.
Look, he's a gnome. He's not always thinking about his footwear.
Who is, really?
Right.
All right.
So, anyway, yeah, that's my move. So, that's me.
That's you. Now it's Grimm's turn.
Hey, look at there.
I say Grim to this, don't kill him yet. I still want to talk to this big boy.
Eros, I think the time for talking is past, sadly, and I punch him.
Hoop that thing.
All right. Gotcha.
You want to punch arrows?
Well, no, I'm going to punch the big boy. So he attacked recklessly, right?
Yeah, he did. You got advantage on this attack.
21.
A 21 will hit. I have a feeling this may be his last few moments of life.
19 damage.
Yep, that'll do it. So I've pictured the way this is, like, as you you cock your fist back to punch him one last time, Eros like tugs on your shirt real quick, and he's like, Grim, I really like to talk to this guy. And Grim's like, I think the time for talking is past. And then he pulls the rubber band off of that elbow, and the fist comes flying into the face of the big boy Grunk. You punch him directly in his face. You feel his nose cave in and turn inside out so much he's probably smelling his memories. And you just punch him so hard he falls off his feet and slides backwards into the wall behind you inside this garage. And Grunk, the leader of these thugs, is dead, bloodied on the floor.
Yay.
I sigh and I say, whatever.
All 4 of you.
Huh? Oh yeah, all 4 of us.
I love that.
Difficult decision in the moment, Eros. I let the last one go, and I suspect we might have to kill him again sometime in the future. And then I throw a punch at number 1.
You caught that same fist back and bring it around.
Conversational combat. I love it.
Yeah.
At that point, it's just like a gun with a crosshair. It's just like it just slowly winds back like a crossbow.
Yep.
That is a 23 to hit.
A 23 will definitely hit this young man.
20 damage.
20 damage on that young fellow. You punch him really hard, right in the chest, and you can feel the breath leave him. But he is not dead yet.
I'm gonna give him the big boot to the chest then with my bonus action punch.
All right.
Or something, I don't know. Sure. 27.
A 27 will hit.
That is 23 damage.
I know you said a punch, but I picture this time you punch him in the chest, he bends over, breathing outwardly, and then you just pick up your right leg and kick him in his knee, folding his knee backwards, and he falls face first into the ground, slamming his head, his knee shattered and folding the wrong way, and he's no longer moving.
Yay! And then Grim's just gonna so I imagine the hyena came in between the big boy and number one.
Yeah.
So Grim's he turns to he's already facing the big boy, and then he punches him, and then he turns to the other guy, and then punches him twice, and then now he's turned to the hyena, and he's just kind of looking at it.
Luckily, hyenas are dumb, so I don't have to decide on what he wants to do.
Case could then be made for Grim, because we don't often have to decide what he wants to do either.
That's true. He just punched the thing.
That's all I'm going to do for that turn.
All right, it is now Arrows. What are you going to do with your turn, 4-man Arrows?
I think I'm just gonna walk past Grim saying, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me, while all 4 of us pass Grim.
I love that there's 4 of you so much.
He's just very calmly walking around a battlefield.
Yep. Where are you headed, Arrows? I moved you prematurely.
So doesn't the wolf get a chance to attack me, correct?
You don't have to go within 5 feet of him.
Well, I was planning on to check out the room, see how much more TNT was left.
Yeah, so he will get an opportunity attack on you if you walk in there, but I bet you could take it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go pass through him and just I get perception check to see what's around, correct?
Sure, I will. Real quick, tell me about your spell that causes 4 people to be there, so I know what to do with this opportunity attack.
Mirror Mage. When you're attacking me, I roll a d20, and if I roll, if I roll a 6 or higher, I can change the target when he attacks me.
Okay.
To one of your mirrors?
Yeah, to one of my mirrors.
Gotcha. All right, so roll that real quick.
That's a 9.
All right. So do you want to change it over to one of your mirrors?
What did he roll?
He's going to roll to attack you. He rolls a 13 to attack.
Then I target myself because that's not going to hit, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, that's not going to hit.
Yeah, that misses his AC, so yeah.
All right, so you slip into the garage, and the hyena tries to bite at you, but you're able to escape his bite, and you walk in there and roll a perception check for me, young man.
I shall. Nope. That is 11.
11. 11. So when you look around, you can see there are 3 wagons sitting in front of you. One of them is empty. The second one in the middle is empty, but the one to the right looks as though it has several more of those big sticks of dynamite that the big guy was carrying. You can see that they're inside the wagon. They're wrapped in red. They say TNT on the side. And they're big sticks of dynamite. And then you can see in the top right corner of the room, in the back right, you can see a big silver-looking iron-colored safe with a combination lock on the front.
I use thaumaturgy again to make my voice a little bit louder again.
Okay.
And I scream out, "Hey, yo, guys! There's a big, huge safe in here."
Okay.
I think it was a big, huge. Was it big? Not big, huge, but like big.
At least big,
Everybody
if not
for a
big,
moment
huge.
now goes,
Yeah.
what?
And then, you know what? Yeah. Actually, yeah, I pass. I mean, not pass. Yeah, I'm done with my turn.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
All
That's
right.
it.
Okay, Jack, it's your turn. You are hanging off the edge of the thing. I assume you'd like to use half your movement to get yourself up on the ledge.
I would like to do that.
All right, you find yourself up on the ledge.
Cool. I did look at Booming Blade again. It was not a bonus action, as Xena stated. I just thought it was a bonus action because I always did it with an attack. But you cast it, and you attack as part of the cast.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
that's how that works. I'm gonna use my Lance of Hades in its hedonistic form.
Perfect.
I'm gonna chuck it at that hyena fella down
Chuck it. Chuck it at that fella.
there. I chuck it.
Roll to
You
chuck.
said I can use my strength for this, right?
Yeah. Because
Ooh.
I'm the world's most lenient DM. Not according to TikTok. They think that I'm a gatekeeper.
I don't really know what that term means.
A gatekeeper?
Like, you block people from doing the things they want?
Yeah, a gatekeeper is someone who says, like, you know, if you're not doing this thing the way I think it should be done, well, you're not doing it right. Someone essentially who stands at the gate not letting you through.
That doesn't make any sense at all for you
No.
for that to be ascribed to you.
Well, it's because of the one TikTok that I said that nobody really understood. It's just a joke. For anybody who's following this stream and also follows me on TikTok, maybe you will see my most popular TikTok, which made people mad.
Have you managed to fish anybody with it by, like, saying, hey, that's not how I really am, check out my channel to see what we're really like?
Good
No,
move,
I
good
haven't
move.
done that. I didn't want to be too cringe about it. My favorite comment so far is, it's always the white dudes who make the game seem less fun to play. Get out of here with your gatekeeping. I was like, my skin pigmentation gets me again. Got me.
Good grief. Foiled again.
Shadow, I am not a gatekeeper when I play God of War. Get out of here with your gatekeeping, gatekeeper of war, sir. Just kidding. We all have fun here.
Gatekeeper of war. Like, I could just see that little key ring jangling. I got keys right here. Unleash some war. Yeah.
Zenos was going to say something.
Yeah, Zenus.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask for you to send me that TikTok in question.
I'll send it to you.
Excellent.
I rolled a 19 plus 5 to hit this boy.
You will collide with it.
All right, and I just do the full lance damage, correct?
Yes, sir.
Sweet. That'd be 9 damage.
You do 9 damage to this hyena. The lance stabs into the back of the hyena and stays lodged there. And it is it's stuck in his back, but the hyena remains alive. It shrieks in pain.
I recall it.
All right, you recall the lance. You reach out your hand, and this is the first time you've recalled it. So you reach out your hand, trusting that Krong would not sell you anything that is weak, but everything he sells is Krong strong. So you reach out your hand, trusting that the lance will return, and the lance begins to shake, and then it shoots out of the wound backwards towards your hand. Roll a dexterity saving throw.
16.
You successfully catch the lance as it comes back into your hand.
Ooh, that's so cool.
Nice.
Did I call that a bonus action?
You told me it could be a free action, but I got to make the check to catch it.
Okay, got it. Right. That makes sure. Okay, perfect. Yes.
The same as just like picking it up or whatever.
Right.
How does extra attack work? Is extra attack only for melee attacks, or does it work for thrown and
No,
stuff like that?
it works for anything. When you take the attack action, you can attack multiple times.
I see.
So
I throw it again.
yeah, there you go.
Huzzah.
Perfect. You sling it one more time.
Oh, my bad, Keith. That wasn't a 16 to catch it. That was an 18 to catch it.
You catch it with even more gusto. I'm glad
That's
Shadow's
it.
here for this because he loves God of War, and this is a very God of War moment.
That's a 14 to get him.
You sling that lance down into that hyena's back one more time.
One more time. Hey. Oh. 2. Plus
2
5.
damage. Okay, so you actually don't sling it into his back one more time. It slices down his side, barely opening up his skin. It jams into the ground and then falls over onto the ground.
You heard it was 7, right?
Yeah. Oh, wait, it was 7 damage?
Yeah, 2 plus 5.
Oh, my bad.
My proficiency in strength.
Okay. The same thing applies.
Okay.
But the hyena is now the slice on its side is deeper than I just said. A gash opens on its side and blood continues to leak out. This thing is standing in a pool of its own blood, and it is very wearily standing there. It does not look like it has much left in it.
Poor guy. Let's see. What can I do with a bonus action? Do I have any bonus action spiels?
Like, if you spit at it real hard, it might die.
Well, there's not a what's it called? A fire elemental down there anymore, which is why I climbed the wall in the first place. Could always just jump on him.
You could.
It's more God of War action.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything I can do as a bonus action.
So instead of climbing to escape, you climbed this wall as if climbing the top rope. Shadow says, click R3 to do the finishing move.
More God of War.
Yep, God of War reference. Still very funny to me.
Gotcha. Yep, that's all I got. I mean, I got no bonus action anything.
Okay.
And we've already done the jumping off of something to kill something else.
Yeah. This thing is barely standing. But it is Hyena 2's number 2's turn. It is going to turn around and try to walk away. This thing's finished. It's given up on you. It's barely limping away, leaving a trail of blood behind.
Guess I don't get opportunity attack to fly off the wall with the spear.
He's moving away. Get him. No, you don't. And now it's Kate's turn. Kate is going to try her best to try to take out that person standing right there in front of her. Number 2. She's going to roll for her short sword. She's going to roll a 12, which is, dang, still going to be enough to take out this guy.
Ooh.
That's going to be a 9 damage. She slices him one time in the leg, and he drops to a knee. Oh. And then she brings her sword down. She tosses her sword in the air, actually, grabbing it the backwards way, and then jams her sword down into between his neck, or his head and his shoulder. Life leaves his body. She pulls the sword out, covered in blood. She swings her sword down, and much of the blood falls off in a pitter-patter on the ground. And she says, I told you I'd get you.
Do I see this?
Yes, you do.
No, he's inside, ain't he?
No, you don't see that. You crazy? Of course not.
Okay, then never
That's
mind.
Arlo over there.
Yeah.
Also, Zenas, when you leaned over just now, so I have a Word document with a lot of my information on it, and it's covering up half of your screen, so I don't see your head. But when you just leaned over, it was as if you were peeking out from behind my Word document. It was very, very funny to me. Hello, Esteban. Hola, muy buenas. We do prefer English in the chat if you don't mind, but I do hope you're having a good time listening to us play D&D. So Kate is going to murder that guy. He falls dead on the ground. And she's going to move to Arlo. She comes to Arlo and she says, Arlo. She starts patting him down, feeling all your wet, burned clothing. And she says, are you all right? Are you burned?
Yeah, little scorched, but I think I'm gonna make it. Did you got him? You got him.
Yes, he's not the worst thing I've defeated. I'm a little banged up, but I'll be okay.
Right. Well, you locked the gate. What else we got?
Yes, the gate's locked. No one should be coming in. The dynamite explosion likely would bring people back this way. We should probably finish this up quickly and get moving.
Right. Right. And Arlo's kind of shaken up. He just was attacked by an elemental and then had a water sphere on top of him. So.
Yeah.
Right. Let's do that then. I'm just kind of shaking my head.
Perfect. All right. So y'all are standing there. Hyena number 1's turn is very upset with Grim. It's going to try to bite Grim. It rolls a... What's up, Random Furniture? Welcome to the stream, buddy. It rolls a... And that's a 15 to hit.
It's not going to do it.
The 15 is unable to hit Grim with the bite. That hyena really should do a better job of living and stuff. But it sees that its buddy has been injured, so it's going to run past you, Grim, and try to help its buddy out.
Well, I'm going to punch him.
I figured you might.
As one typically do.
Honestly, never thought the hyenas would be the last enemies in this complex.
Really?
Yeah, I was imagining taking those out kind of first. That was going to be Grim's goal, but yeah.
I was kind of picturing Arlo, I don't know, converting them or something.
They're friends now.
That's a 22
You go
to
way
hit.
back now.
All right, a 22 will definitely hit.
22 damage.
I don't
feel like
remember
you-
the last time any of you guys missed an attack.
I
23.
never attack.
It's been a little while.
Sorry, that's not what I should say. He takes a big old punch of damage in his ribs, necrotic energy eating away at his flesh as he moves towards his dying friend.
Wow, that's just
Yeah, it's kind of sad. Arlo, it's your turn, young man.
Whoop. Okay. Standing around and looking at all the carnage, what has befallen this whole situation. It looks as though, from what I can see, it looks as though that building is secure now.
Yeah,
Like with Grim out front, and I
Yep.
saw arrows run inside.
Absolutely.
I am going to take my watery sphere, and it has 30 feet of movement. I can use my action to move it 30 feet. So I'm going to just roll it over the nearest area of fire, and I'm just going to go ahead and start putting out some of these big fires that are going.
Perfect. What a
So-
what a nice young man.
I'll do that.
Because it's definitely not his fault.
Right, definitely not. No. Well, I mean, my thought is, okay, there's some big boom stuff here, and without all the technical knowledge to go behind that, we want less boom.
So
So-
how many feet can it move?
30. So, and I've got another 9. After this, I've got 8 more times I can move it around. So I'm just gonna keep kind of like wallowing this thing around all over all the fires.
Okay, so you roll it past yourself, and then it begins to put out the fires over here in the bottom left. Those other red spots of fire are campfires that were already burning, so everything's good there.
Cool. I'm gonna take a quick conversation to tell Kate. Kate, I think we ought to get back toward that building over there. It's just that's where all the dynamite. That's where the exploding stuff. That's where it's at, right?
Yes, you go help Eros in the garage over there. I'll try to run down this hyena and make sure it doesn't harm Jack or Grim too badly.
Right. All right. Let's do that. And I want to beeline it towards where Grim and Eros are.
Alrighty. Sounds good. You head that way. Oop.
I guess. Do I need to use my dash to get there? No, I can't use the dash. So.
Yeah.
Anyway,
you
I'm
wouldn't
gonna
make it
just
all
try
the
to
way
get as
there,
much
yeah.
as I can.
All right. After that, it's going to be Eros's turn. Nope, Grim's turn.
yes.
Ooh, goody. How far away is hyena number 1 from me?
We'll call him 30 feet.
I'm gonna move to hyena number 1.
All right. You run him down backward style.
I'm gonna punch him. The mighty 18 to hit.
That'll hit.
24 damage.
You run this hyena down. You leap on its back in your rage-induced state, and with a hammer fist, your 2 hands together, coming down on the back of its skull at the base, slam through its skull, snapping its spinal column, and you ride the dead hyena to the ground, sliding towards the final living hyena, which is barely living.
Cool.
Ow, that was an awesome takedown.
Well, I've got extra attack, so I'm gonna throw Pokesy at hyena number 2.
Okay. Let it
Getting
rip.
so much stuff thrown at him.
Yeah.
Will a 16 hit?
A 16 will hit that hyena.
Oh, I gotta do math. 17 damage.
As the other hyena was turning around to try to meet with its fellow friend, it watched you murder it in cold blood, and then you sling Pokesy directly at the hyena number 2, and Pokesy, its 3 barbs pass directly into the neck of that second hyena. It slams to the ground, dead. Blood leaks all over the ground. And we are now out of combat.
Woo!
For now.
For now.
So, being that we're out of combat, same thing. I just continue to just roll that big old watery sphere around for the next 40 seconds to put out stuff.
All right.
I'd like to run as fastly as I can to the area of wall above the gate
Okay.
and be prepared to look out for incoming foes.
All right.
I'd
You run
like-
over there.
I would like to open the safe if I can.
All right. You go over to the safe. And you look upon it. And you see that there is a combination. Do you want to see if you randomly successfully get the combination? Or do you have a way to pick a lock?
I think I can pick a lock, but
You'd have to have thieves' tools for that.
yeah, I'm a spy. Can I see if the leader has anything that could help me, or if there's something?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. You go over to the leader's body, Grunk, his face turned inside out by the fist of Grim. He lays slumped over backwards on the far wall. You have to step into a pool of his blood to get to his dead, lifeless body. But you pat him down and roll an investigation check for me.
It kind of sounds like, I don't know,
That is a
like
12.
scripture in the Church of Satan, the Fist of Grim.
Get those hammers up. There's a
There's
raid
whole section
coming.
hill. You were grimmed, weren't you? Yeah. Over here, please.
We got another raid coming in. Thank you, Shallow, for raiding the channel with a party of one, my friend. I appreciate you bringing your friend into the channel. We playing some D&D tonight, and battle has just ceased. Eros, what was your investigation roll, sir?
12.
12.
Whole 12.
So, you search over this guy, and you can't find anything on his person until you check his ankle. And inside his boot, you pull out a photograph, or at least a sketch, a drawing maybe. It looks as though there's 2 people in this drawing. In this drawing is the picture of the guy that you just are, the man whose socks you are rifling through. It looks like a drawing of this guy, but he looks a lot kinder, a lot more gentle. He looks a lot happier in this little photograph you see. And the other person in this photograph looks very much like him, but is about 1/3 his height, and is obviously his son in this photo. And on the back of this photograph, the son also looks quite happy in this photo. Again, I'm calling it a photo, but in ancient, whatever the photo equivalent would be in a fantasy medieval setting.
A charcoal drawing.
Yeah.
Rendering, perhaps?
But you flip it over, and on the back, you read a couple of numbers. 041592.
1992
So-
confirmed.
I will. I will try to use those numbers on the safe.
All right. You use those numbers on the safe, and you effectively open the safe, revealing an iron box that is taller than you, full of gold and trinkets and valuables.
I try to get a handful, but making sure that there's leftovers for the whole party. Like it's kind
Taller
of
than you, a handful.
So
Would be
it's-
plenty for us.
no. I said I want to get a handful, but not try to get all of it. Trying to like get an equal amount as everyone else would.
Gotcha.
Okay? Gotcha.
So, and then I look at the TNT.
So I'm closest one there. I would say Arlo is like beelining it for the entrance.
Yeah,
I guess it's like flat back kind of doors.
Arlo, you roll into that garage just as Eros is popping open the safe.
Just as he's opening it.
Yeah.
Is thaumaturgy still with me?
I don't think so. I think that's a one instance kind of thing.
It's a 1 minute.
It's a
Oh,
cantrip. You can
never mind.
just do it whenever.
Then I'd like, naturally, I'm just gonna tell Arlo that there's a lot of gold in this box.
He just said Arlo got there just as you opened it.
Well, no,
Well,
that's
when I,
We just
Yeah.
opened it.
yeah,
Well, how much we talking about?
a lot of, like a lot. I don't know, just a lot.
Well, we might see if we can back that up. I mean, that we need to see if we can get back to these people what it took from.
True.
Yeah,
But
they took all that from all these people, all these merchants in this town. I think we ought to get it back to them.
that is
Don't
true.
look like they're gonna use it that much more.
Then I immediately dropped the gold I was trying to get.
Oh, I want to check out the wagons. I have no idea what's in these wagons, but I'm checking them out.
all
I
right.
was checking out the TNT.
Whenever you check out those wagons, the two wagons on the left have nothing in them, but there is one wagon on the right that has, as you count them, 9 of those large dynamite sticks.
Nice.
Sorry, Shallow. Let me hit you with the shout out after that raid, by the way.
Whoop.
If I can spell your name right.
There you go. So,
After-
Arrows, is this that stuff what we're looking for?
I think so. I'm pretty sure
Oh,
it's TNT and stolen gold.
well,
Well, that's what
I
I'm
guess.
assuming at least.
I guess job well done. I guess we did it.
And then there's kind of like a frown on my face since I saw the picture. I'm like, dang, that was a real painful death.
Wow, what you got there?
It's a picture of him and kind of looks like his son. They look really happy.
Huh. This fellow what tried to blow up our face?
Pretty much. Kind of wish I killed him faster.
Oh. Yeah. I guess everybody can't be all bad all the time, you know.
Hmm.
Might have made some bad choices. Yeah, you never know what happened to this fella. I'll tell you what. I think I'm gonna step out. We got a lot of people laying around that we kind of destroyed. I think I might go dig a couple holes.
Who are we talking we? I did absolutely nothing. You did something.
True.
You made a trail of fire. Like, that's doing something, Arlo. That's
So
doing something.
As he's explaining all of the destruction that Arlo has done earlier, and then noting that the picture with like the guy with his son and things like that, Arlo's kind of little shook up by that. So I would like to go back behind the little structure, building, whatever, and mold earth, dig some graves for a couple of these people.
All right, you successfully dig a few graves back there. While you're doing that, let's go visit with Jack briefly. Also, good night, All Gaming. Thanks for hanging out, buddy. So Jack, what are you doing over there?
This is the first time Jack has used his new Lance of Hades.
Mm-hmm.
So I picture he's just kind of tossing it up in the air and practicing catching it whenever it shoots back towards him.
Okay.
But he's standing up on top of the gate area. Maybe I'm picturing this wrong. Is it like a regular castle gate where it's a gate built into like a stone arch, or does it go all the way to the top?
It's probably built more into an arch. It's not. It's like kind of like sandstone, of any kind of stone, kind of clay sandstone-y kind of feel. But yeah, it doesn't.
Okay.
The door. You're not standing on top of a door frame. There, you can. The wall goes all the way around.
Okay, then I'm standing on that arch over the door,
Okay.
and I'm just watching for the returning thugs.
Okay. So the battle, the TNT went off about 12 seconds into your battle, and we had several turns after that. So it's probably been about a minute or so since that bomb has gone off in the sky. The smoke to this point has not yet stopped from the market stall, and it doesn't look like anybody's heading that way, but you can hear all of the action and tumultuousness going on in that direction. So you're listening out, and I guess waiting until you hear that commotion die down and people start heading back this way.
Keith,
Yep.
do I see a bag or anything to grab the whole coins and trinkets?
No, there doesn't seem to be any sort of bag or receptacle around.
There's a wagon.
There is a wagon. I don't think I'm strong enough to lift that thing and put it on the wagon. So I just go outside, see if I can find a bag to put the trinkets and coins in.
Okay.
Goes back to that guy's socks again.
Yeah.
Grim, what are you doing?
After grabbing Pokesy, Grim's gonna walk around and grab the armor and weapons from all the people that are still in one piece.
Okay.
All the armor and weapons that are in one piece.
Gotcha.
And he's gonna shove those into his bag of holding before making his way to the main house.
All right. So let's say that you pick up 2 maces that weren't fully destroyed. And the great axe that was on the guy's back that tried to kill you in the garage. That's the last place you show up. And let's say you also get 2 batches of leather armor that you pull off of people that wasn't burned or otherwise mangled.
Huzzah. Alright. And then yeah, like he's just gonna go into the house. At what point does he arrive there? Has Arlo already gone?
At this point, I would say Arlo is great. So it took you a little while to gather those things. Arlo is now digging graves behind the building, and Eros is looking around for a bag at this point whenever you walk in.
Okay. So I imagine I just pick up the as I'm going to pick up the great axe, I kind of say to Eros, so what did you find? Anything interesting?
I found 9 TNT sticks, correct?
Correct. They're in the wagon over there.
And a lot of stolen coins and trinkets. So we need to bring those back to the owners of those trinkets and coins. So if you see a bag, please let me know.
Well, I'm sure that TNT will come in quite handy, but as for bags, I do happen to have a bag of holding. I'm sure it could hold most of it, if not all.
Alright then, we can use that to grab all the coins then. Kinda forgot you had that. My bad.
It's fine. It is a new thing. Sometimes I forget too. And I head over that way to grab that trinkets and gold.
All right, to make life easier, these trinkets and gold are worth the equivalent of around 500 gold pieces worth of value that has been stolen or earned, who knows, some of it from the people of the town. And you are able to fit all of that inside your bag of holding, sir.
Well, there it be.
Luis, welcome to the stream, buddy. D&D seems to be going well. The party survived another combat encounter, and we are dealing with some aftermath. Kate walks over to Jack, and she calls up, and she says, Jack, what do you see?
What you have
Jack, he is an elf.
He
And
is.
also, I forgot. Elves' eyes glow in your campaign for some unknown reason.
Do
Oh
they?
yeah, they have like a weird color or something.
They have a glow to them.
Yeah.
You asked me what color I wanted Jack's eyes to be. I said amber. You said okay. Elf eyes glow, so yours are glowing amber.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that part. My bad.
Jack
do
is
your
also
elf eyes
looking
see?
over his journal while he's up on the wall,
Uh-huh.
just to see what got added to it. Did the fire elemental get added, and did the people get added?
Let's say the fire elemental did get added. The people did not.
Okay. Whenever Kate calls up to Jack, he's gonna look up from his book and kind of look around the town. Perception roll.
Yeah.
That is a nat 1.
Nice.
You don't see or hear anything.
Okay.
You're looking back into.
You're
the
you're very focused on the journal. So instead of, you would respond with like a what, like you've been pulled out of your book and you've been paying more attention to that than anything else.
I don't see anything up here. Not yet.
Do you mind if I come join you to look around?
You're more than welcome to. I don't know how you're going to find a way up.
Isn't there a rope you have?
I have 20 feet of rope. It's a 20-foot wall. I mean, I can't tie it on to anything. I guess I can try and haul her up.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I have strength now. I'm not a dexterity boy.
She says, maybe drop your lance down and let me, or climb up using that, or a rope. Anything will work, I'm sure.
Does she have any strength modifier?
She does not look particularly strong. She looks more dexterous than anything else.
Like any at all? Hang on, John.
Sorry.
I'm gonna. So I get 10 feet of reach with the thing. So I'm gonna kind of lean over the side and hold the lance down to her.
Okay.
And she can try and jump up and grab the bottom of it, and I'll
Yep.
pull her up. If
That's
that
the
works.
plan. She's going to roll an athletics check with your help. She rolls a 14, which will be enough for this to be successful. She runs up and grabs the handle of the lance, and you haul her up, and she says, "Oh, not a bad way to get up."
Oh yeah, and if the thing is still active, I have like double my lifting strength, so she shoots up pretty swiftly.
Nice. She says, You're stronger than you look. I've not spent a lot of time with many elves."
It is Melora's gift. I won't be like this for much longer, but I will use every ounce of my strength to protect this fortification.
You speak a lot about Melora. Are you truly that devout of a follower of this god?
She saved my town when no one else would. We sent many letters to the council trying to get as much help as we could to save Fark from the invading gnolls, but none would come to our aid. We sent letters instead to the paladins of Melora, and I suppose it was their adventurous spirit. They sent paladins to train the folk of the town, the city watch. All of us are now paladins following the teachings of Melora.
That's par for the course for the council. And as far as the gods, I suppose it's easier to believe in the gods you can't see than the devils that you can. It's been a long time since I've heard a favorable story about the gods, Jack.
Melora is not a god who favors many. She simply smiles down upon us as we go through what we must in life. She is the goddess of adventure. She doesn't make life easy for us. She gives us the opportunity to struggle.
I suppose that's true. I only mean to say that many people are skeptical that the gods have abandoned us.
Well, perhaps some have. It's hard to say, really. They're as varied as we are.
That's true, I suppose, again. I'm sorry I didn't mean to get so introspective here on top of the fortress, but there's something about the starlight out here in the desert that makes you want to think inwardly and outwardly into the universe for just a brief second. Makes you want to forget the troubles of life and all the things we have to kill to survive out here.
Yes, I suppose it's the calm before the storm. And speaking of the storm, while you're up here, could you help me search for the town for any stragglers?
She peers over the town and
Menacing way.
she peers over the town and she looks down towards the Krusty Krag, the saloon that you came from, and the market district where you walked through. And she peers down that way and she says, I think I see a few moving around, but I'm not sure if they're just satisfied with having put out the fire in the market, or whether they're all just heading off to have a drink. And who knows why they might not have heard that dynamite explosion, but it seems as though no one is headed back this way just yet. We should be safe for the time being, but I don't know if we should stay here too much longer. Obviously, we've proven that we can handle whatever's thrown at us, but another 25 men to kill is not something I want to get into this evening.
No, but while we hold the fort, we should remain battle-ready. I'd like to send letters to the same sect of Melora's followers. I want to see if we can form a bit of an adventurers guild here.
Well, I suppose that wouldn't be too hard. We could maybe leave the letter with the bartender at the Krusty Krag. He could find the right place for it to go, or do you have other ideas?
That sounds like a good idea to me. I believe I'll try and enlist the aid of Arlo. I've seen what he can do with the earth, and I think we can set up a few more fortifications and make life a little bit easier for a burgeoning guild hall.
Very well. Well, let's hop down and speak to him. Like I said, I don't want to be here too much longer if we can avoid it, and I'm ready to get started on the rest of our journey, to be quite frank with you.
Yes, but we are 20 feet in the air, and I don't know how to get down.
She says, it's easy. she says,
Off the wall.
she says, it's easy, you just jump. And she hops off of the wall and jumps, hits the ground, and does a super graceful tuck and roll, rolls forward, and then is back up on her feet in a split second. She says, don't worry, Jack, you'll be fine. Come on down.
Isn't it like a D10 for every 10 feet you drop?
Of damage?
Yeah.
Not when
something
you're
like that.
not when you're light and have skills like this assassin girl.
Okay,
Or
well,
ranger girl.
It's a D6
I'm
for
basically
every
a
10
rock.
feet after 20.
Oh,
It's-
after 20?
Yeah.
Okay, I was about to say, I'm a rock wrapped in metal with a giant rock in my pocket that tells me how far underground I've fallen.
She notices your trepidation and she's like, or just use a piece of rope. It's not that hard. It's only 20 feet. And she begins walking to the garage.
I'm going to use the last of, I guess it's the last, it's 10 minutes. I'm going to use the remainder of my peerless athlete to long jump to one of the tents and use it to break my fall. Again, Hulk style.
All right. Welcome to the stream, Lady Starlot. Good to see you. And yes, the Krusty Krag. Very similar to the Krusty Krab. And if I could do a Mr. Krabs impression, the bartender would have sounded just like him. So you gracefully leap into this tent, using the tent to break your fall. You go crashing through it. The sound of fabric ripping underneath your boots as you land can be heard throughout the fortress. You land, some clanging pots and a box are broken underneath your feet, but you land damage-free inside a tent and walk out. That's one way to do it.
On my way to the, what are we calling it? Like the compound?
I keep calling it the garage.
On the way to the garage, can I grab one of the hyenas and kind of drag it with me?
Of course. Oh, the hyena would have been added to your journal as well.
Yeah, I figured that.
Yeah.
Is there any way? Hang on, before we move, Kate, could you grab the other one and help me drag these in?
Yes, sure.
The building.
Absolutely. She grabs a hyena and drags it along with you, both of you having drug a giant hyena over to the garage as they lay outside the door.
Sweet. They are giant hyenas then?
They are giant.
Sweet. Then I'd like to skin them because according to the Monster Harvesting Handbook, which is similar to the journal, correct?
Yes.
A hide from the giant hyena is worth 20 gold pieces.
Wonderful. Well, you
It's
get 2 of those.
It's a DC 16 to peel it off of them. Do I
Roll.
get like advantage for being a butcher or anything?
Yeah, why not?
That's a good call.
I also the fact that you didn't like make a I used to be a butcher, so give me advantage. Like you've been a butcher the whole campaign, so I'm happy to allow you to have advantage.
Sweet. I didn't need it. Or at least not for the first one. I do need it for the second one. Poopy. I only got 1.
All right. So let's say
you got 2 hides from 1.
let's say that you were successful in getting the one for full value. The other one's only half value hide. You goofed it up a little bit.
Sweet.
So you sit outside and skin 2 giant hyenas while Kate walks inside to Eros and Grim, and she says, fellows, what have we found in here?
We have found stolen trinkets and coins and 9 9 TNT sticks.
Sorry for the loud bangs. Juice has a bone that he will not chew in the corner quietly. He keeps dragging it over and smacking the table with it.
That's okay. She says, that sounds like a very good find. Grim, I assume you found a way to transport all the gold?
Indeed, I have my mimic here, and I pat him again. Has come in quite handy.
Perfect. Do you think it would be a good idea to slip that TNT inside that bag as well?
Why not?
Momentary pause.
I feel as though it might be the safest place for it inside a magical bag instead of on one of our persons where, God forbid, one of us were to be lit on fire by a summoned fire elemental or any other reason and we get blown to smithereens.
Oh, I got it. I got the special armor from the best person ever.
Oh yeah, he can deflect 1 hit.
Yeah.
I guess he could deflect an explosion. That'd be great.
I picture John like deflecting an explosion, kind of Captain America style, with his shield. Like he just says the words, and then instead of taking the damage, he just gets blown backwards 100 feet. Kate says, "Armor is all well and good, but it's still a possibility that all of this could go off by accident. You saw what it did to the fire elemental. I think the best place for it would be in a sort of demi-plane inside of Grimm's pocket, or."
Yes, I know. It was just a joke. Yes, let's just put it in.
I'm sorry, Eros. I've been in the field a while. The jokes are sometimes lost on me a little bit, but I'm sorry. I'm sure you are a very funny boy.
Okay, thank you.
So I take the sticks and feed them to Mimic.
All right. The mimic bag goes. Y'all like that?
After he takes all of those in, I just kind of like poke him a little bit, just very lightly in like the kind of the center of where I imagine his head would be, and I just go, "How are you doing? Are you okay?"
It burps and goes. It goes. Whoa. It when you pat the bag, it's starting to feel pretty full.
Okay. Okay.
He's like grandpa after Thanksgiving dinner, equivalent in a mimic bag.
Keith, you can correct me on this, but I don't picture this thing being of like stiff, firm leather. I picture it being like a really loose, floppy bag.
Oh yeah, yeah, it is. It is, but it's getting firmer and firmer the more Grim puts in it.
Gotcha.
How big is it? Because I was imagining just like a small little coin purse.
Yeah, that's it.
My belt. Okay.
That's it, and its mouth opens as kind of as wide as you need it to get to within reason for you to like slip those TNT things and stuff. It's a goofy looking little thing. It's a goofy looking little bag. Kind of, if you can picture it as kind of cute, it's kind of cute. Okay. You know, I don't know how you do that, but it is.
No, I gotcha. I after I put those in there and poke him, I go, Probably shouldn't put too much more in there just for right now. But what are you planning to do with this dynamite?
Well, where we're going, there's a rock slide that's covering what I hope is an entrance into where the Moradin's tiny orb is held, or kept, or hidden, whatever you want to call it. But I know that Arlo has a great deal of power, but I don't know how deep we'll have to go, so I wanted to cover our bases and grab as much of this explosive as we could, and just in case we have to blow the lid off of that place.
Yes, I remember. I remember now that you mentioned that. Very well. What should we do here? I think we are about done.
Yeah, I think we should start heading out now before things get a little bit worse.
Yes, she comes over to Eros and puts a hand on his back and says, "Yes, I think you're right, Eros. We don't want to be here in case these other tough men come back. Shall we take our leave and decide on a plan outside with everyone?"
Well, I think first we should return all the coins that we have found that we know that was stolen, and bring it back to everybody.
I don't know
How
if
do we know which
anyone's...
one was stolen.
Well, although they were stolen.
A lot of this money was stolen, but I don't know if there's a good way for us to tell how much of it was stolen and how much of it was quote-unquote earned, or I certainly don't know if all of the adventurers coming back from the Bone Mountains keep a ledger of the things that they've grabbed and its value. Who's to say if anyone would be trustworthy to give the gold back to? I don't know.
That is true. Should we split it then?
I'm going to leave that up to you all. I'm set. I have a funding from the servants of the scale that I was given, so I am not in great need of gold, but I will leave that up to you. And we'll put upon you no shame for whatever decision you make on that.
Gold digger.
What is the serpents of the scale?
The servants of the scale, the organization that you are now working for, Eros.
Yeah, because I don't think I got.
You probably haven't been told,
Yeah.
like externally, but in the game you would have been told before we even met you. If you've been working with basically the leaders of the servants or of the scale.
I don't think I have.
John, that was in that packet, I think, that I gave you before we started season 2. Did you do your homework?
Packet?
So
Remember-
that would
like
be
that-
no.
No, the big, huge, long list that you gave me?
The email that I sent you?
Yeah. I don't think I saw.
It
about
might.
serpent-
Anyway, the servants like slaves, but the word servants of the scale. It is the secret organization run by Corinne and Albert Fullheart, the people who sent you on this mission.
I know what it is, but I thought my character did not know.
No, you do know.
Okay.
You live with them, and they now employ you.
Yes,
You were
you do
spying
know.
on them because you knew they were the servants of the scale leaders.
Okay.
And
bad.
then they caught you, and now you're employed by the servants of the scale leaders. At some point, you found out about the servants of the scale.
Okay. Well, then forget what I said then.
Rewind.
Okay. So,
Knock those.
she says, "I'll put on you no shame for whatever you all decide to do with the gold."
You all found gold.
What gold? What are we talking about?
I want to, like, about this time, I'd imagine Arlo's coming back around the side of the building.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, bunch of gold was in that safe over there.
Yeah.
Hey, what happened to it all?
How big is a giant hyena, Keith? They're pretty large, right?
Yeah, like probably 5 feet at the shoulders.
Okay, so yeah. Jack is like glancing up over a prone body of a hyena
Yeah.
covered in blood.
Yeah, there was a bunch of gold in that safe in there. What happened to it?
I don't see it. I don't know what you're talking about, Arlo.
I told Grim to put it in his pocket since I couldn't see any bags.
I look to Eros and I turn out the 2 pockets of my pants that are empty, and I say, Do you think that much gold and trinkets could have fit in my pockets?
As funny as
missed
this is, boys, we probably should get out of here. I have to imagine the gold is in the same place as the dynamite, which is in Grimm's magical little cute bag he has on his wrist or waist.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense. All right, now what? We're just we up and leave? Do we leave the door locked? What we doing here?
Keith, I think Grim was setting up a character moment there before Kate jumped in.
Continue.
No, I wasn't. Well, I mean, I guess I kind of was, but not.
He turned out his pockets and, while denying that he saw no gold, said, "How would I fit that much gold in these pockets?"
What was I supposed to say?
Like, he said he didn't see it. He said he saw no gold, but then he said that much gold.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry. My bad. I didn't pick up on that either. But she's a little flustered. It's been a big moment for her. Let's cut her some slack.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, so now we open the door and we're good to go. We don't need nothing else.
If at all possible, I'd actually like to leave the compound sealed up. If you could make sure the door stays shut. I want to send a letter to the Paladins of Melora. I want to see if we can set up an adventurers guild here at the Bone Mountains?
Yeah. I mean, you're outside the Melora's Quiver is outside the Bone Mountains.
Here at the base of the Bone Mountains, where the adventurers seem to congregate anyway, it would probably be the best spot for it.
All right, so we'll leave it closed up then. All right.
Sounds good to me.
All right, we got everything we need. Everybody ready?
I'm ready.
I want to wait.
It's the middle of the night. We seem to be fairly safe in here. I'd be more than happy to walk the perimeter. I don't sleep much, but everyone else can get a long rest, and I can notify you if anyone comes knocking.
A fair point.
I hate to think this way, but desperate times call for desperate measures. There are still somewhere around 20, if not more, members of this extortionist gang out in the town, and they'll eventually want to come back here to sleep tonight. I don't always think this way, but should we send some sort of message on the outside of the wall to maybe explain to these men that the gang has been disbanded, their leader is dead, and they should not return?
Without saying anything, Grim pulls the great axe out of Mimic and goes over and cuts off the head of the big bad.
Well,
All
I
right.
already buried everybody except the hyenas.
Did you go in there and pull? I don't know if you went and got that one guy's body from inside the garage.
That's what I said I was doing. I was digging holes to bury everybody.
Well, then, if you were doing that, I was checking out him, so I would think you
That was
wouldn't.
after.
Okay, then.
Okay, so yeah, I guess his body would be gone, so all you'd have left right now is his axe. It's reasonable if you want to go dig him up.
No, Grim wouldn't know which thing was his.
The idea is still valuable, though. Take it. Go somewhere with it.
Like it. It could work.
I would think if we made a letter that would tell the 24 members of them that the leader. If we made a letter that said that the leaders were dead, I think they would return and see who killed them.
I don't know if we're going to send a letter through the post service this evening.
Yeah,
I know that.
And
like,
we don't know everybody's address and whatnot.
But okay,
The letter I mentioned was for the Paladins, not
I know that. But all that Kate was talking about, we send a letter to them.
No, she said send a message.
Oh, yeah, send a message.
A meta here, John. She's talking about like dangling his mutilated corpse from the front of the wall so that anybody approaching sees that the big bad guy was soundly torn apart.
Oh,
As
Oh,
as we're having a conversation, I imagine like Arlo and Grim have gone around back to the shallow graves that we're dug, and I'm just like using mold earth over like each one of them. This one, no, this one.
Yeah,
How about this
I was gonna say, Grim just kind of, while the rest of them are talking, he just like, because I'm gonna say that Grim was unaware of what Arlo was doing, so he just kind of like pulled the axe out and turned, and then saw that the body was gone. So he's like, "Oh, okay," and then he just kind of like walks out, following the trail of blood to see if he can find him. And then, if that is what you're actually doing, Arlo, where you're pulling up all the stuff, he's gonna take the heads of every corpse there,
Oh man!
and then
Open up the last one. Arlo's like, "Oh, this one's all crispy looking. That'll be nice."
he still takes it. And I wanna go out and spend some time gathering like a couple of sharp sticks, and I just want to stick them outside the gate and put their heads on the pikes.
all right. You successfully take 15 to 20 minutes to perform that task, and now outside of the gates of the fort are heads stuck on sticks, and in the center of all that is the concave head of their leader outside on a pike.
I would like to ask for Jack's help on something.
Very well.
While Grim is like putting these very, very lovely decorations out and about.
He's fine, Josh.
While Grim is putting these very lovely decorations out and about, I think that I want to approach Jack. Jack, I could put a message out there on the rock of the wall. How you write "them's dead"?
Do you want it to say "them's dead," or would you like something a bit more eloquent?
What's that? No, they're not elephants. There was a big hyena.
I see. Would you like something that explains in more detail, or do you think "them's dead" will be enough?
No, they's dead. Well, I suppose we could use an elephant. How you spell elephant?
Let's go with "them's dead."
All right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm just laughing at I see.
It's kind of like, that's what the level we're working with here.
Well, keep
That's
in
why I
mind,
find it so
Arlo
funny.
is new to the written language. So
Here, although this would be a good time for us to practice.
Oh,
I'm gonna take my lance and I'm going to scratch "them's dead," with an apostrophe
okay.
over between the M and the S, and yeah, so it says "them's dead" with "them's" as a proper what is it? Contraction.
yeah. All right. So I want to put "them's dead" using molder. I'm gonna put "them's dead" on the wall outside.
And
Okay.
you see, Arlo, you see this weird hook. It looks sort of like a comma floating above the S here.
Oh yeah, like a little bug or something.
It's sort of a placeholder that what you mean to say is "them is dead," but you shorten it to "them's" by using this little placeholder, and it's all one word now.
Oh yeah, I understand.
Based on the way you talk, I feel as though you will use many apostrophes in your speech.
Right. It's mostly apostrophes.
Yes.
It's mostly them squiggly things.
Like, let's say if you were addressing a group of people,
Right.
how would you call out to them?
Oh, them's.
Yes. You have a shorter word for it. Like, normally I would go up and say, "Hey, you all, how are you doing?"
Oh, you mean y'all?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would like to draw out "y'all" for him. This is all the time we have for spelling lessons for right now, but we'll get more work done on our trip through the mountains.
That was a lot. You think I'm done yet?
Not quite.
All right. We'll keep at it.
Okay.
So now I've learned y'all and them's and dead
And children.
and children.
Was there anything else that any of the rest of you would like to do this evening?
Arlo,
Ah.
I actually have another request for you.
More apostrophers?
I'd like to turn this into a guild hall, as I said before.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen the way you move the earth around. Is there anything you could do to maybe set up some market stalls or something? The stall I
Yeah.
burned to attract all the thugs out seemed to be selling more cheap wares than anybody else. Everything else seemed fairly specialized, but I feel as though there's a place here for new adventurers who can't afford the best items like we have.
Where's the place you want it?
I was thinking along this wall, perhaps, and I want to direct him to the west wall of the compound.
Okay.
Cool.
So
I get to do a thing.
So Arlo
let's
and
do it.
Jack will say, unless we don't have to go through all the specifics of you transforming this fortress, do we?
It's just casting a spell.
Yeah, it's casting a spell. It's a 5th level evocation spell.
Yeah, no, I'm good on that. I just mean you're not gonna go through like the layout of this thing.
No, I think we're okay.
Okay, I'm happy to flash forward beyond that.
Okay, the point of the spell that we were kind of talking about, like out earlier today. The point of the spell is if I concentrate on it longer than 10 minutes, it's permanent.
Gotcha.
So it's not like it goes away.
Okay.
But if his concentration is broken, that's what we were getting at. If there's like an attack in the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, I got to do it over again. But it is 10 foot by 10 foot panels, unless you want them thinner than that.
We'll just skip all over that. We'll
Okay,
just
we
say
good.
it makes market stalls.
Then we do that.
Yes, you do that. Your outer rim deterrent is successful in taking making sure the thugs do not return. I assume you all are going to take a long rest here this evening. Or are you going back to the Krusty Krag?
I'm fine staying there if the rest of the group is.
I'd stay here.
Yeah, I'm good.
We left a note.
Okay, perfect. So, Kate says to you all, I think it is a good idea for us to bed down here this evening, and we'll head into the mountains first thing tomorrow. Sound good?
Arlo is already asleep.
I am going to at least try to make myself a little bit more stealthier, just in case if something happens to jump in here.
Okay.
Stealth sleeping.
Stealth sleeping. Pretty much, yeah.
Sneaky
Stealth sleeping.
So everybody's seen like the Disney movie Atlantis, where like little mole guy like buries himself down into a little hole. He's
Yeah.
like, that's pretty much Arlo at this point.
Perfect. Exactly
Basi-
that.
I was thinking of just like sleeping behind the garage,
Where all them dead baddies are.
pretty much.
Okay.
While everyone's kind of together before they disperse, Grim's gonna pull out the gold that he collected, and he's gonna be like, "I was just joking earlier about not seeing the gold. I fully intend to split it up with you." And he divides it into equal portions and passes it to Arlo, Eros, and Jack.
Cool.
Everyone, I'll be taking these pelts into the market tomorrow before they expire. I could take the trinkets that aren't really fluid cash and trade them in for gold while I'm there, if you'd like to hand them over for a time.
Fair enough.
That sounds good to me. I also have to go to the market tomorrow and sell these items that I looted off the bodies.
Well, in that case, would you mind carrying it all while I go and prepare the letter for the paladins?
Absolutely.
I want to offload that pelt and a half to him. And for reference, the whole pelt is worth 20 gold and the half pelt is worth 10.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right. So let's say that this night ends with the very cozy image of Jack and Arlo walking around the edge of this place, casting spells, and getting this place just right to be an adventurer's guild. Eros finds himself a sneaky little place to go to sleep. Kate goes and commandeers one of the tents near a campfire to go to sleep. And then by the end of the night, Jack and Grim sit down next to a campfire briefly to hash out their plan for the morning, and everyone finds a good place to get a full night's rest this evening. The following morning, Grim, with little to no consequence, goes and makes his sale in the marketplace, getting market value, or at least sale market value. So let's say, Grim, if the math works out, let's give you, what, like 80% of what those things are worth resale, since they have been used by thugs and stuff. So whatever, like, the manual says.
Well, it just says you'd get half of what they were
Oh,
valued.
yeah, sorry, we've already done that. So half is perfect.
Okay, so that totals 30 gold, my good sir.
All right, so Grim, you make a sale for 30 gold, and you bring back 30 gold for young Jack Boy as well.
And I give him the full 30.
What was that, Jack?
So I think Jack's the oldest person in the group.
Well, sorry. Old
He's like
Jack Boy.
65 or something.
So, how much gold do I get again?
You get 125.
Yeah.
Sure.
Nice.
And so, also, Jack, unless you have a letter prepared to read, we will say that Kate runs your letter down to the Krusty Krag and hands it to unless you'd like to do this, and hands it to the bar owner and tells them and gives them instructions on what they are to do with it.
That is fine, but I'd also like to put 5 gold in it as a donation to the church.
Perfect.
I think I'm gonna go with Grim to go to the smithing, see if I can get a better shield.
John, they can't just keep creating magic items every time
I'm
you go
not-
to the store.
I'm not trying to get a special item, but like more of just a tougher, like shield.
Shields give a
Shield
plus
come as a
Shield
straight
is a
plus
shield?
2.
Okay.
Yeah, shield's
Fair
just a
enough.
shield.
Okay.
I want to find a box.
A box?
A box. I want to find a box.
For what purpose?
For collecting bugs.
All right, so Grim brings you back a box from the market
No reason
stall
to
as
look too
well.
far into that.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, Grim, in his Grim style would I would assume have agreed to bring you back a box, and he successfully brings you back a box.
Yeah.
Cool deal. Cool deal.
If you can't tell, I'm just trying to get us kind of through this morning. We've had some kind of mundane Second Life stuff over the last 3 episodes. I want to get us moving along, if that's okay with you guys.
That is perfectly fine.
Okay, so everybody wakes up. We get these chores done. Kate brings back a message, and she says that the owner of the Krusty Krag, Jack, seems very, very ready to hand this letter off as with your instructions. I believe by the time we return, things should be rolling on your new adventurers guild that you are starting here. So congratulations.
Excellent. Thank you. It's very good to hear.
And with that, she says, is everyone ready to journey into the mountains today?
Yes.
It would
Let's
seem
get
so.
going.
Yep. Think
I'm
so.
done.
All right, it will be a long journey, so let's get going. And so, you all, Fellowship of the Ring style, go trudging off into the Bone Mountains. The desert is hot. The sun beats down upon you, but luckily, because you bought the magical clothing 2 episodes ago, you are not as hot as you could be. And so, along the way, you learn a few things about Kate. At least one of you got curious about Kate, and instead of her telling you through her own mouth her life story, I will give you a brief summary of what she tells you about herself that you have known. Is that all right with you all?
Yep.
That'll work.
You hear this story from her. There's some conversation had, and of course, if there's anything specific that any of you would like to say to one another, please do that. I'm just, I don't want you to think that I don't want you to think that I want you to make any like idle chit chat to fill time for me to do anything, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
You good.
It's all good.
Okay.
Let's see what we got.
Let's just quick time till we get to some action.
Cool.
Roll initiative.
So you are walking through the desert. Eventually, I'll post this picture on the stream as well as on the it's all on the Discord and on the stream to show you kind of a visual of what you're looking at this point. At this point, you are traveling through a landscape that looks very Grand Canyon-y at this point. The desert surrounding the Grand Canyon, and eventually you find yourself walking through a very dry canyon-like area. The mountains are beginning to go up all around you. The landscape is very much in the vein of the picture that I've just posted on the Discord as well as on the stream. So it takes you actually several days worth of walking to get to where you want to go. I said one day, but as you got out there, Kate got to one point and she says, we're going to make camp here for the night, to your surprise, and then you learn that it actually is several days journey to get out to where you're going. So over the next few days, you guys learn some things about Kate. You learn that her family came from the south of the Round Isle, down where Buckland is, or the Round Isle is where Buckland is. She came from the very south of it, down in Medine's Beard, in that snowy, mountainous region. Her family lived off the land in the bitter cold until eventually the land grew more and more hostile with the beasts and new creatures. Her family intended to travel to Buckland to work and gain enough funds to make passage to the mainland when they decided that the south and all that cold was too difficult to survive in. She tells you at some points very difficultly and through tears about how on the journey her father fell extremely ill from the cold and the damp out there, and one night Kate and her mother struck out to look for help in the forest but were beset by a yeti, which is a huge man-like creature that keeps to itself and kills anything that disturbs it. They thought that the Yeti stayed in the craggy peaks of Medine's Beard, but apparently not so anymore. Kate's mother was mortally wounded in combat with the Yeti, and Kate received an extremely crazy, gnarly scar on her left arm that stretches down the length of her arm. She rolls up one of her sleeves to show you this huge, gnarly scar on her arm. She tells you that it almost tore the arm completely off. Kate had to carry her mother back to their camp, where she was able to say goodbye to her husband before she passed away. And then over that night, the grief and the stress was too much for Kate's father, and he passed away before that next morning. And unfortunately, being as injured as she was, she had to move along and leave her mother and father to their bodies to freeze in the cold. But eventually, over the next couple of days, she was able to hobble into Buckland and eventually receive medical help for her arm, which was not properly healed, so she continued to have this scar. And that's how she tells you that she found her way to working at the Full Hammer Mine. She gained employment as a huntress, scouting and killing game for food to feed the workers. It was at that point that she caught the eye of Torque Fullhammer, the son of the proprietors of that mine. And within 3 months, they had fallen madly in love and were wed. And after the wedding, Kate learned of her in-laws' secret organization and all that was going on and wrong in the world. She agreed to help. Being the hardy and confident explorer and huntress that she was, she took to going on scouting missions for the servants of the scale, scouting new recruits, looking for new caches of supplies, or in this case, looking for magical items that could save the order as they know it. So now, over those couple of days, you know much of what there is to know about Miss Kate Fullheart.
Nice.
I figured that would be an easier story to tell you that way than to, have her tell it.
You seem to be quite the accomplished adventurer, Kate.
Yes, sometimes I regret all the things I've had to go through, but they have made me stronger. I still miss my mother and father, but I know they'd be proud of the woman I am today.
Oh, most assuredly. Well, where do we go from here?
Well, she turns towards a craggy ravine. You have descended into a valley within the mountain range. It's very Grand Canyon-esque. You travel down into the bottom of this canyon over the course of her telling you this story and, all the different conversations you guys have. Let's assume that you all grow closer together as a party as you go down this montage. Eventually, you travel down into the bottom of the canyon and you follow the river. After a few days of travel following this river, it's even more a couple days, in the magical map you're in possession of, guiding you along the way, you come to a small creek that breaks away from the river. It travels down a narrow branch of the canyon, and after a few miles, that path grows more and more narrow until you have no choice but to step into the 8-foot wide creek and continue walking, as there's no longer dry land on either side of this small creek. It's about, half a foot deep. It's not very deep. Very shallow little creek flowing away from you as you walk down it. The walls of the cliff are high above you. Inside this ravine, it's dark. It's growing kind of chillier as you walk down that way. You can see light above you outside of the ravine, but at the bottom down here, it is cold and shady. And eventually, you find yourself at the termination of this ravine, at a wall of boulders and large stones that extends upward to the height of the ravine. And she says, "Finally, we're here."
Ugh, this was such a pain to get up here.
Yes, Eros, it was a long walk, but I hope the prize will be worth the journey.
I hope so too.
So now, what do you want us to do with this dynamite? How do you propose we set it up?
Well, let's take a look around, and maybe Arlo, with his abilities, might have an idea of a way we won't have to use it. But we may have to. I don't know. Everybody, roll a perception check for me.
Okay.
Cool deal. It's an 11.
14!
I got a 1.
But that's plus like about 100, right?
I wish. So
I got a 9.
Okay, what, Grim?
I was just gonna say, Grim was just distracted by the wall itself. He's just kind of like looking it up and down, like, man, that's a big wall of rock.
Gotcha. It is a very large wall of rock. All of your perception checks reveal that those boulders are very large and heavier than any of you can lift by yourselves. But Jack, one thing that you notice as you're looking around, you notice that creek continues to flow underneath the boulders. You notice that the creek doesn't like stop or anything, that there's still water flowing under those boulders and away from you, beyond them somehow.
Everyone, shouldn't, with all the boulders blocking the way, shouldn't this crevasse be filling up from all the water?
Yeah, I mean, you'd think so, but it's going somewhere.
It seems to be flowing through. I wonder if there's a... Hang on. I wonder if there's a passage through the rocks.
Not to mention the fact that your map is betraying that this does look like the way that you should go to get to the orb.
Okay. I want to do a thing.
Okay.
I want to do, because for all the time we've been playing D&D, I've never done ritual spells. So I can do commune with nature as a ritual spell.
Mm-hmm.
It takes me 11 minutes, and if I do it as a ritual, it doesn't burn a spell slot. So that's cool.
That's cool.
Real quick, I'm going to read it very fast. You briefly become one with nature and gain knowledge of the surrounding territory. And outdoors, a spell gives you knowledge of the land within 3 miles of you. In caves and other natural surroundings, radius is limited to 300 feet. Doesn't work in town and stuff like that. Instantly gain knowledge of up to 3 facts of your choice about any of the following subjects related to the area: terrain and bodies of water, which absolutely that's one we're going for.
Okay.
Prevalent plants, minerals, animals, and people. I'll go for that one. Powerful fae, celestials, fiends, elementals, or undead. Or influence on other planes of existence or buildings. So I'll go with terrain and water, plants, minerals, animals, people, and then influence from other planes of existence. I need three facts about all this.
I shall do sort of the same thing, except doing detect magic using a ritual too.
Okay. So
Just
three.
seeing if there's...
So 3 facts. So is that a total of 9 facts?
It's one with nature gain knowledge of the surrounding territory. In the outdoor spell gives you knowledge of the land within 3 miles of you. Gain knowledge of up to 3 facts of your choice about any of the following subjects as they're related to your area. So I'll do terrain and bodies of water, and then influences from other planes of existence.
Okay, so that would be 2 facts about one and 1 fact about the other.
Yeah, give it to me.
Okay. All right. First of all, Eros, your detect magic ritual does not come up with anything. It doesn't look like there's anything magical going on here, or exceptionally magical.
Okay.
And it said, what about caves, Arlo?
If I'm in a cave or underground in some way, it doesn't go 3 miles. It does 300 feet.
Okay. So your magic passes beyond this rock wall, and one fact you learn is that beyond these rocks is definitely the entrance to a cave.
Okay.
You can tell that about 80 feet, this cascade, this wall of rubble goes about 80 feet until an opening in the wall, which is about 5 feet wide and 8 feet tall, is back behind these boulders by about 80 feet. You can tell that this creek travels beyond here for much farther, maybe even many miles into the cave beyond. And you do not detect any hard connections to other planes of existence within the area that you are searching. So I think those would be three satisfactory facts.
That'll work.
Okay.
So, in brief, I got how much rock is between us and like safe passage through this thing?
80 feet of rock until you get to the entrance.
80 feet of rock. Okay.
Or 80 feet of like boulders, rubble.
I got you. So it's not like it's like 80 feet wide and 80 feet deep, and then
Just 80 feet deep. If you
Okay.
walked forward 80 feet through these rocks, you would find yourself in a cave opening.
Gotcha. Let's see. I guess I want to let everybody else know about what I've found. I guess I'm just kind of like sitting, kind of like meditation style on a little rock, just trying to take it all in.
Okay.
And I would like to briefly try mold earth on a little section of rock that's just ahead of us to see if
Okay.
I can move 5 feet of rock out of the way.
Yeah. How mold earth? It makes it soft.
Yeah. Choose a portion of dirt or stone you can see within range that fits within a 5-foot cube. If it's like loose earth, which I would guess is like just boulders sitting around, would be okay.
Sure.
You can excavate it, move it along the ground, deposit it 5 feet away. Doesn't cause any damage. Cause shapes, colors, or both. See, I use mold earth to cause shapes of words to appear on the wall outside.
Yeah.
Them's dead. If it's on the ground, you cause it become difficult terrain, but that doesn't really apply in this one.
So what I'm picturing is you do your magic on the boulders directly in front of you and almost form yourself an arbor. You let's say you soften them and turn them into kind of an archway.
That's kind of what I'm going for, to see if I can get like a 5-foot chunk out of here.
So you successfully soften those boulders and push them all out from the side, and then kind of let them harden back up to hold the weight of the boulders above them, and you make yourself kind of a 5-foot deep archway through the boulders.
Cool. Well, it looks like it's going to be a bit of slow going, but I think it's better than blowing up the whole mountainside. What y'all think?
That's pretty good.
Well done, Olo.
All right, let's do this thing. Grim, a moment of your time.
Yes, Arlo?
I want to keep doing my cantrip and keep getting deeper and deeper, making that tunnel going through. Quick question there for you, man. Last time we was in a cave. I don't know if it was. I don't know if you remember this, but I mean, we all got paralyzed, attacked by a bunch of spider bugs. There was all kind of stuff in there. What do you think going into this one? This cave looked a lot bigger.
Well, Arlo, that was quite a long time ago. We had just met. I think that though this cave is bigger, we too have grown stronger as a group and individually. We have a new member. I believe that whatever comes forward to face us, we will meet head on and, as we have in the past, overcome the challenge. I'm fairly confident that I can do what I need to do, what I'm good at doing, and I will do it to the best of my abilities. And I am confident in you and Jack, though there are some issues with him now. Or at least he has been swapped in some way. I do not know the full story there, but I have confidence in all of us here to do what we can and what must be done. And I believe we will succeed. I believe we will make it through this cave. Not necessarily unharmed, but I believe we will pass this trial and make it on to the next.
Yeah, you think so, right? We'll be all right.
I think so. I don't know that blowing a giant hole in this rock wall is the best idea, though.
Yeah, maybe
think-
hold on to that stuff, but
Yeah, if
not
you
too tight.
could. What?
Not don't hold on it too tight.
Oh yes, no, definitely. If you could successfully make a way through it, I think that would be a good idea. I don't know how well I trust that either, but if push comes to shove, I could certainly try to swim through that river, that creek, or in some way move forward through it and see what we could find on the other side.
No, we wouldn't need to worry about none of that. But I was just worried about blowing something sky high and us get trapped in here. Well, it's just we hadn't had a good experience underground. I'm hoping this time's going to be a lot better. Smooth. You think smooth sailing, right? Smooth sailing.
Sailing definitely forward, but more like than not, I believe it will be sailing on a broken ship.
Ah. Well, what's life without a little bit of adventure? And I
That's
just
true.
push past him and keep on excavating.
All right. So, is there anything else anybody would like to say, or shall we allow Arlo to excavate his way through?
Hold up.
I'm gonna.
I'm going. I'm
no,
going
go
to
ahead.
use. I'm going to use light on my torch. Just getting prepared if we're gonna go deep.
Okay.
Cast
What?
light torch.
What?
So the torch isn't even burning; it's just glowing.
I like that, John.
Because
Yeah.
it's pretty. Because I have to use something.
It's reusable. Wait, you got dark vision?
Well, I don't know if y'all do.
Oh yeah, everybody's got dark vision.
Kate does not have dark
instant
vision.
glow stick.
Let John do his thing.
Yeah. No, I love the instant glow stick idea.
Yeah, that's cool. It's a flashlight.
Right?
It is a flashlight.
Yeah. Kate appreciates it, John.
You're welcome.
That is true.
I just don't know what everybody has, so I'm just making sure that everybody can see within range. of
That is
20
very
feet.
helpful.
And then I conjure
Arrows.
another elemental.
Nice.
Zenas, what were you going to do, buddy?
I was gonna step out of the little rockway because I imagine that Arlo pulled me into the first little crevice that he made,
Yeah.
but I want to kind of step back as he's moving forward, and I want to make sure that it's not gonna, collapse.
Gotcha. Kate says she leans over to Arlo, and Arrow's standing there kind of away from it, and she says, well, I suppose maybe our fighting and killing for that dynamite was all for naught, but I'm sure we'll find a way to use it eventually. Don't you think?
Yeah.
It was good to remove the corruption from the city where we could.
Yes,
And I like the idea of having the exploding stick handy.
Yes, I just don't love killing for no reason, but I suppose they had it coming.
Well, not never no reason. People of the town seem to be under a little bit less pressure. Maybe they'll prosper now.
Maybe so. Keep up the good work,
Okay.
Arlo. So as you keep up the good work, you eventually make it all 80 feet through this rock tunnel. I think your mold earth move is pretty cool. I'm not gonna make it collapse or anything on you at this point, but whenever you get through the rock wall, I'm gonna change the image for the stream. You find yourself as well. I'll change it in the Discord for you to see.
Yay.
You all walk through the stone arbor that Arlo has created into a very glowy fungal cave. It's dark in there. And you pass through this entrance 80 feet deep into this rubble. About a 5 foot wide, 8 foot tall entrance is seen in the cave rock wall. As you pass through the entrance, you can tell that you're in a huge, wide open underground cave. You walk through almost what looks like a stone foyer, walking through this creek with glowing fungi on the ceiling and glowing fungi all around you on the walls. And as you continue walking down to this creek, the walls begin to open up beside you and above you, and the creek now flows down into this wide open cave as far as you can see, to the right and off to the left and off to the and out in front of you. You almost feel as though you might be in some huge dome underground, this glowing fungal dome of a cave. The ground descends before you in this open cave dome. There are large, lightly glowing mushrooms standing in various shapes and heights, lighting the ground. Some small and low to the ground. Some of these are 6 feet in diameter and 15 feet tall. As the creek you are standing in continues deeper into the cave. Ahead of you, you can hear the sounds of animals scratching in the distance. As well, in the distance, you can hear the rhythmic sound of ting, 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 ting. And you guys are in the dark cave. And
That's not really dark.
well, not dark, just a little dark. And that is where we end this week's episode of Dungeon Boys, everyone. That is where we'll end, as they begin in a secret underground cave.
Secret tunnel.
Slightly dark.
Slightly dark.
Secret tunnel.
Only slightly dark, guys. Only slightly dark. I'd like to thank everybody for listening to this episode of the podcast. If you watch on YouTube, if you listen on iTunes, if you listen on SoundCloud, if you listen on Google Play, if you listen on Spotify or any other podcasting app, please know that we appreciate you. We would love to hear from you. You can email us, tankmediagames@gmail.com, or use any of the links in the description of this video or podcast. And of course, we would love to hear and have your ratings on whatever podcast app you listen to us on. Anything to get us heard by more people. We work hard on the show, and we would love for you to share it with people that you think might like it. And thank you for liking it. But until next time, please remember that myself and the Dungeon Boys love you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Toodles.
Peace.
Later.
And that will be the end of our recording. And now we will end the Twitch stream. Guys, are you doing good?
I'm doing good.
Did you have a
was a
good
good one.
time tonight?
Quiet.
I did.
Good. Well, we're all
Do it
tired.
again.
By the time we get to 10 p.m.
Right.
at night, we're all tired. We did not make it as far as I thought we would, which is always the case when you have a bunch of combat. I think our combat turned out well, YouTube and Twitch audience. We had a lot of people come and hang out tonight. We had Lady Starlocked and Luis and All Gamings, and Shallow Crow raided us, and Esteban came by, and Shadow, and Sixpath, and Harry, and War raided us, and Tef, and there was all kinds of folks popping in and out there in the beginning. We appreciate all the viewership whenever you guys come by. I'll be live in the morning trying to kill that Valkyrie Queen in God of War, and the Dungeon Boys will sometimes be available in the Discord. And we'll see you next time. Please remember that we love you very much. Bye-bye.
Toodles.
Bye.
Peace.
Later.